Star Trek is over and might still be going. We're not entirely sure here on post show recaps, but you know what? That doesn't stop us from having some good old fashioned Star Trek based fun with our dear pal, our good friend of AI, Brant Steele. Hello, everybody. Mike Bloom here. Before we get into whatever introduction I just gave and what you're about to experience today, let me bring in the group that is going to break down a Survivor Star Trek season for the very first time. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do this without the captain of everything Star Trek here on Post Show Recaps, Jessica Lees. Jessica, how are you?
I'm great, Mike. I tried to explain what I was doing tonight to my family, and it just kept every next word that came out of my mouth just got progressively dumber. So I am very excited to bring all of this stupidity into the world.
It took about 5 or 6 years for the paradigm to really shift on podcasting, for people to really come around on the idea. Brand still sort of sets the art form back a good number of years from that capacity, in that it's going to take a good number of years for people to understand the simulations as well.
It's true, but I feel like we have never needed Brant Steele more than we do right now in these times.
And we could also never need our guests more than we do right now in these times. He and I have ran many a Brant Steele together, like two old buddies fighting the Dominion Wars. So happy to welcome back to the Star Trek podcast, the great Rob Sesternino. Rob, how are you?
I'm reporting for duty, sir.
Thank you. What rank are you? I think you're sort of like the Admiralty, like the Star Trek one Kirk who gets like called out of the Admiralty to come serve on this SS Brant Steele.
Yeah, I'm the if Jess is the captain, I'm the admiral. I guess that you're the commander, first officer, and I'm here to say what kind of Brant Steele are you guys running? You come back to Starbase immediately.
And then, of course, we directly defy your orders and sail into some sort of wormhole to parts unknown.
And it turns out that I was like an alien working for the Tal Shiar the whole time.
Exactly. You were a sleeper Klingon who happens to also be a quarter Romulan with a little bit of Borg in you, which makes sense because we're going to have a big old Star Trek mix-em up, folks. So here's what we're doing. If you have not heard about Brant Steele before, it's the best damn holodeck program you're ever going to experience. A few years ago, Rob and I stumbled upon a little site called brantsteele.net, which runs simulations of some of our favorite reality shows. We have done a good amount of them over the years, and here we decided to finally bring it to the final frontier in the form of Survivor Star Trek. So now the way this is working is Jess and I decided to cast this group of people. It spans all series except Enterprise of Star Trek over the years. So you're going to see people going all the way back from the original series to people from the most recent season of Picard. And we're just going to mix them together, see what happens, and see who might prevail if everyone gets stranded on SETI Alpha 5 and has to fend for themselves and vote each other off the planet.
Can't be any worse than the time the Popeyes chicken sandwich almost won Brant Steele.
There's that very close, very close.
Did the Popeyes chicken sandwich come that close?
I think it came in like fourth or something, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was our fallen angel, and we'll see. What are the fallen angels here? But what does God need with a spaceship, and what do fallen angels need with the spaceship? Let's get into these tribes before we even get into what's about to come here with this season, because we did a pretty meticulous job casting this season, and we decided, Jess and I, we're talking about this offline a bit, and then we got petitioned a bit online as well, and we sort of settled upon the theme of heroes versus healers versus hustlers. One of the more, I'd say, head scratchers of a Survivor theme that we have seen over the past 20 years. Just in the end, what made us decide to choose HVHVH for our Star Trek simulation?
I think for me personally, it was just the cornucopia of possibilities for a hustler's tribe within the Star Trek universe. And I think the way we broke it down really lends itself well to this format. As you'll see as we get into introducing the various members of these tribes, you can pretty much put any Star Trek personality into one of these three buckets. And I think the ones that we have picked are particularly strongly adhered not just to the primary heroes, healers, hustlers demographics, but also to this secondary strata that we kind of imposed on it as well. So I really like how neatly this broke down.
Yeah, Rob, I think the preseason interviews with Gene Roddenberry are going to be great when he's going to try to really fit people in each box and really sell it to the audience.
See, I thought that you guys went with heroes versus healers versus hustlers based solely on the tribe colors of blue, yellow, and red, corresponding to the three colors that you most commonly see in Starfleet uniforms.
Well, the problem is, Rob, the red tribe then becomes kind of the orange buff.
Yes, yes. The red tribe could be the Matt Singh here if Star Trek canon or photon torpedo cannon holds.
Well,
Yes.
let's get into these tribes. And we start with our heroes tribe, which is a little self explanatory in the casting. I believe it was initially described on the show proper as those that possess courage. So naturally, you are going to see those that were at the front and center for a lot of these Star Trek franchises in the captain's chair or right next to them. First, Jess, as a big DS9 person, we had to know that Benjamin Sisko had to be guaranteed a spot here. The Sisko has made his way. You think the profits are backing him? You think they're betting on him in the online pools?
Well, the prophets exist out of time, so they've been effectively spoiled. So they're really not putting any skin in this game.
Yeah. My question for you, Mike, is that do you think that we're going to see any Ben bombs?
Yeah, I mean, we do have some precedents here in that a person named Ben did win the season in reality. So we'll see if, that carries through or if this sends it into an alternate timeline. I don't know if this is a Kelvin simulation or a Prime simulation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we just church this up?
Oh, yes, no church. Well, I mean, he is, again, speaks on behalf of the prophet. So maybe
He's
would be the
gonna-
first to church this up.
He's gonna prophet's temple it up.
Exactly, little less of a ring to it, and as opposed to wearing a cowboy hat, Benjamin Sisko is going to let that bald head glimmer in the sunlight, like he's ready to rock it.
Yeah.
All right,
Defiantly.
next to him, this is a man that we have seen twice, most recently on Star Trek Discovery. Big breakout character. It is Christopher Pike. No offense to his original interpretations, we decided to have Anson Mount play him just because while it would be fun, I do question the ability of someone in a motorized wheelchair that can only make one beep or two to do well on Survivor.
Yeah. Do I think this incarnation of Christopher Pike is poised to do very well on Survivor? Beep.
At least a lot better, so it should be interesting. Again, he swayed the hearts of even the most crusty Trekkies back in Disco season 2. So we'll see if that confidence and that charisma carries over. James Tiberius Kirk. Rob, how do you think Kirk's going to do here? Because he's known, obviously, as the first Starfleet captain we saw, but he's known as a bit of a rule breaker, a bit of a brazen
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, I think that Kirk likely to be a beast in the challenges. It will remain to be seen how well he works as a diplomat in some of these tense negotiations. I think he probably has a good chance to do well in his initial starting tribe, but I think if the numbers are ever in his favor or not in his favor, I think that he's not going to be able to rig the machine to get a victory here in this simulation.
I would also say, Jess, even without looking at the rest of the cast, he has the best chance of getting in a showmance this season, right?
100%. I just don't know if anybody else is going to be picking up what he's putting down. I think the problem with Kirk is that he's a very old school player in this old school mentality. And as we know from the current season of Survivor, sometimes if you can't change your game up, you may run into a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, his successor on the USS
New
Enterprise. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so new school that he was seen in the most recent series of Star Trek Picard. Jean-Luc Picard is making his appearance here. I will also say, I think just for the sake of bits, we are considering all canon. So it's not like, oh, we're watching old Picard play or like, William Shatner on Boston Legal playing as James T. Kirk. We're just considering their entire body of work in the Star Trek franchise. They are practically ageless here.
Okay,
They
but
can choose the body that they want to be in for this. So it'll be like peak Kirk and peak Picard.
got it.
Of course, we also have Catherine Janeway, captain of the Voyager. Jess, do you think if she mounts any journeys into the jungle to the water well, is anybody following her, considering how she's want to get lost?
Well, I think that she's also ripe for a showmance, because if she can fall in love with like a weird Irish holodeck program, I think she's ready to fall in love with anybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, she is someone who her captain's drink was black coffee. I'm not sure how the caffeine withdrawal is going to hit her. It might be end up with a very irascible Janeway. We might not be entirely sure. Maybe it'll go the way of Tuvix.
Well, I think she's one of the most even-tempered people in this tribe. I think everybody else is going to lose their temper before she does.
And then, of course, lastly, we have our lone non-captain on the Heroes tribe, but it makes sense considering that she is still the center of Star Trek Discovery, Michael Burnham. Rob, I will spoil something here and say that Spock did not make this simulation, considering he made one of our previous simulations. It might be one in the future. So, as one of the more Vulcan representatives on Survivor, do you think Vulcanism is good or bad in the game of Survivor?
Yeah, I don't think it's great, to be honest. I think that just looking at the facts and the logic of everything, I think does not necessarily make you a compelling ally in the game of Survivor.
Well, we shall see if that number crunching is going to help in the Heroes tribe. Let's move on to the healers. And just like in the real life version of Survivor, we're a bit more open with the definition of healers just because, to be completely candid, we did not want 6 doctors on this tribe. So we decided to liven it up a little. And let's stick with our more recent series and go to one Agnes Girardi, roboticist, but also sort of medical professional, considering how the end of Picard turned out. Jess, how do we talked about this actually, I think, near the end of our Picard podcast, but given what Agnes did in the middle of season 1 of Picard, I mean, is she like a Sierra Easton type? Is she ready to flip on the flip of a dime?
I think she would certainly vote out not only her own mother, but her own robot daughters.
I mean, yes. Again, considering that she, spoiler alert, ended up killing her own lover slash mentor just to satiate a different cause. I think the needs of the many definitely outweigh the needs of the few, and the needs of the many might be that alliance. So we shall see what she does up against a doctor alongside Jean-Luc Picard, Beverly Crusher. Rob, can you not wait for the family visit so Wesley gets to come out and see her?
Yes. Okay. Oh, that would be very exciting if Wesley can put down his work with the Traveler to come in and join his mom on the family visit.
As long as
Man,
he wears those cute sweaters, like that's the
Yeah.
only stipulation.
that's a missed opportunity, Mike. We could have put the Traveler on the Hustlers tribe.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a little broken. You know, like if you have those superhuman capabilities, it's going to make you a pretty naturally good Survivor player.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Q would be terrible at Survivor, but that's me.
Well, I think Q also has the ability to needle more than the Traveler. So like the Traveler at least has an ability to sort of temper his his ability to screw with people, whereas Q would just have a field day with it. He'd be sort of doing like the Russell Hantz pranks, and nobody would be happy about it. Let's move on
Yeah.
to a.
And he would also be able to manufacture a lot of idols,
Yeah, exactly. Like he
like
would just
Russell Hantz.
reach into a wormhole, grab an idol out of a tree, and he'd
Mhm.
easily find it. So maybe he would be probably have the most capacity for the Ben bombs, and I'm sure the Survivor Reddit would not be happy with the Travelers game, re-ranked at the bottom of Survivor winners.
It's true. He would definitely. He'd be Ben Drebergen times Mike Holloway.
Let's move on here to Jet Reno, a standout from season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. She's an engineer, but Jess, I seem to remember a quote from the Disco season 2 premiere where she basically said that, the human body's like a machine. And so she is sort of the doctor of the machines, if you will.
Well, yeah, and when we first meet Jet Reno, she is stranded by herself on the ruins of a ship, keeping several maimed crew members alive and maintaining their life support systems. And she's an engineer, so it's like she's the best of both worlds, part 1 and 2.
All right, let's move on here. We're going back to one of the OG doctors. Rob, it's Leonard Bones McCoy, and I realized since I couldn't put quotes into Brent Steele, this looks like a very dirty sentence.
Damn it, Mike! I'm a doctor, not a pornographic actor.
I'm very excited. Bones is gonna kill it in the confessionals, in my opinion. Like he is
Yeah.
so sassy and so good with the one-liners that I think the internet's gonna fall in love with him.
Pre-merge narrator, all written all over this guy.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Odo, and you're like, why is Odo there? I personally went for the Joe Mena factor, the Jodo, if you will, in that he is, he's the person in charge of the upkeep of Deep Space Nine. Plus, I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what would happen if a shapeshifter played Survivor. You got to feel like that's a good skill.
Well, if he's playing poorly and we start to see the music start to play, the ominous music cues whenever he comes on the screen, we'll know that he has the Odo edit.
Exactly. Like when he's like, oh, I can't pick up this machete.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make rice. I slept in the rice bucket.
Oh, it's so hot. I'm melting. Look at me.
He's going to be terrible at the water challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. He is the water challenges. And finally, we have the Doctor from Voyager. Now, this is interesting. I believe this is our only hologram player. So he does have the ability to pop up everywhere. But just from what I recall, I believe it did take him a bit of a learning curve to understand humanity. And I wonder if that will apply to the game of Survivor.
Well, if he's studied it academically, I think that will probably help him in this game. I think we've seen a lot of people who have made it their life's work to study the human condition, who have done very, very well in this game. He could certainly play a Denise Stapley sort of game here. And honestly, my suspicion is that Star Trek Survivor seasons are played in a holodeck. Because why would you have to fly people out to Fiji? You can just put them in a holodeck. So he's going to be okay in that regard. Like he's not going to accidentally walk past the boundary of his portable emitter and disappear.
Yeah, though I feel like if it did take place on the holodeck, then inevitably in the middle of the season, something would go wrong where like the program becomes sentient or like they can't turn the program off. And then they have, considering if this is indeed like one long holodeck episode.
So Jeff Probst suddenly becomes murderous and he can't be turned off.
Yeah, exactly. He really becomes the Moriarty where he like steps onto the bridge of the Enterprise and he's like, give me this spaceship so I can go back to Kansas.
I'm the executive producer now.
Exactly. Well, let's move over to the Hustlers because as Jess said, this is really a ragtag group of people and I'll be very intrigued to see how they do. Let's start with Garrick. And I'm not going to lie, Garrick might be the person I'm rooting for the most because what he's most known for is being duplicitous. I think he's known for his most famous quote is that episode when he gives 3 different origin stories about how he came to Deep Space Nine. And he basically said that, they were all the truth, including the lies. So I'll be intrigued to see if Garrick's going to be able to keep a bunch of plates spinning for the entirety of 39 days.
Well, he could be playing the game like a tailor, but maybe this time out, he's going to play the game like a spy.
Exactly.
Oh, I think it's like Figgy.
Yeah, the full transition. I just need a tinker and a soldier, and then Garrick's got the whole thing covered. Harry Mudd, another character that has appeared in multiple instances. I went with the Rainn Wilson version, though actually, you know what, Rob? I think maybe he's the second most likely to get into a showman's, considering the first time we saw him in Mudd's Women back in TOS.
Yes, like Nick Wilson, he loves the ladies.
And I think he'd also come up with nicknames for all of his alliances.
Yes, I think so. He's always on the lookout for the most medium threat to vote out.
All right, here we go. Loxana Troy, many a thorn in, I think, Trekkie's sides. Majel Barrett herself is back here. Jess, what do you think, what are her chances going in here as someone who has the ability to, not only sense how other people feel, read minds a bit?
Well, she is an empath. I think that can only help her in this game, but she's also someone who is known to kind of sow chaos wherever she goes. Whether she shows up during the middle of some festival that makes everybody horny for each other, or whether she needs Odo's protection because her new husband is trying to kidnap her child.
Mm-hmm.
She's someone who cannot exist without a fair amount of high drama. So I don't know how I feel about her chances, but on the other hand, she's on the bonkers drama tribe. So she could slip under the radar when other people are being even crazier than she is.
I'm glad you skipped over when she took Alexander Roshenko to the mud baths in the holodeck. That's a moment I do not want to remember in Star Trek history.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, Rob, I think Loxana has Reem upside here. I could totally see it with her.
Yes. Well, is she going to be wearing clothes?
Well, I think it depends if they're going to have, if she's going to have Jeff Probst officiate her Betazoid wedding, maybe she'll just get into the natural right there, right then.
Oh, they have a naked wedding that they don't live naked on Beta Z,
No,
right?
there's the Ferengi women are naturally naked.
Okay, got it.
Let's move on here. So Philippa Giorgio is here, but of course, it's not the Philippa Giorgio that we were introduced to in Discovery proper. No. Of course, this is the Hustler tribe. It's going to be Mirror Philippa Giorgio, who Michelle Yeoh has just been eating up time on Disco like it was Kelpian ganglia. And here, I think she's about to kick ass and take some more names.
Well, here's the interesting thing, Mike. Is everybody going to look at her and say, what are you doing on the Hustlers tribe? Shouldn't you be on the Heroes tribe because you're a captain? And then she's going to have to figure out a good story to go with that because otherwise she blows her cover and she has to say, well, I'm actually not the Giorgio that you all knew.
Do you think it's like a Brandon Hance-like situation where she has like her Section 31 tattoo that she's got covered up with her t-shirt?
You know, that's entirely possible. I think her chances of peeing in the rice are about equal with Brandon Hance's.
Exactly. You know what? You could blow up Kronos. You could pee in the rice. It's really the same amount of chaos here. We spoke about the Ferengi before. Yeah, we spoke about the Ferengi before. Business owner extraordinaire Quark is here on the Hustlers tribe. Rob, Quark is always quick to make a profit out of something. Is that going to sow well in the game of Survivor? Or will he be seen as too devious on this tribe?
I don't know if people would necessarily trust the only Ferengi member of the cast that that he's always going to do. I think what's going to be best to try to get those million bars of gold press latinum. I do think we'll hear a lot of the Ferengi rules of acquisition in confessional, though.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to see. Similar to the Allie Patrick dynamic that we saw. I want to see confessionals from Odo and Quark being like, do we have to admit that we know each other? We really hate each other. And they're going to be gunning for each other right out of the gate. Like they're going to look across the mat on the challenge and see each other there. And I think Odo and Quark end up really like fomenting this rivalry right out of the gate. So if they're both there on the same tribe at some point, that's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many dynamics going on. Not to mention we have Picard with his common crush Beverly, as well as Loxana, the unrequited love, as well. There's so much. They have, of course, Mirror Giorgio with Michael Burnham, considering the parent-child relationship that she had with Mirror Universe Burnham, and of course, our next and very last cast member also has her own sordid history with Jean-Luc Picard, Raffi Musiker, disgraced former Starfleet member turned snakeweed disruptor wielding free agent. I'll be intrigued to see what she brings here, Jess.
She is a great character, definitely. She's gonna have the best confessionals. She has this incredible ability to make connections. I think this is the thing that made her valuable in the series. If she brings it here and she's always got a guy that knows a guy and she can like do 6 degrees of separation to every single person on this tribe, that makes her social game incredibly powerful.
So Rob, you think she'll be able to connect with everybody in the game knowing someone who knows them?
I think it's possible. I think the question that we might have for Raffi is she going to be able to smoke on the island, or is she going to have some sort of like a Shane Powers-esque like withdrawal from being able to smoke?
I don't know. I did hear some reports by from real Free Cloud for Sure that gave some reports as to somebody smuggling snake leaf onto the island. This season.
Okay.
Or it could be like Shane Powers, and maybe just a kilo of snake leaf washes up on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then you see the La Serena floating above, and Rio sort of gives a salute to her and flies off. So it mysteriously, quote unquote, washed up on the shore.
Yeah, I got to say, Mike, Rios is one of the characters that he was on our short list and he just didn't quite fit with this cast. It's that's one of our big missed opportunities there. I would have liked to see him play the game.
To be fair, let's wait until we get more hologram personalities, and then we can just cast an entire season of those people, and we'll be okay.
Well, we could just have a Rios tribe. It could be him and his 5 holographic alter egos.
Yeah, Rios versus Pikes versus Muds.
I'm into it. I think maybe that's our sequel.
All right, well, let's get things underway here. Let's see exactly what the game is going to do and whether a hero, a healer, or a hustler will prevail here in Survivor Star Trek. So we're going to start things off, I believe, with a bit of a marooning, Starfleet style. I'm assuming a ship's going to get blown up and they're going to get stranded down in the...
Oh, hold on. I hit on the wrong way. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Okay, let me try this. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I have to go to the next page from here.
Proceed.
Proceed. Engage.
Engage.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so we start with the marooning, and it's a race to the shore of SETI Alpha 5. First up, the healers win a fire making kit. I mean, they are the most ingenious, so good on them for being able to secure a fire making kit. But they're not the only ones that are going to be securing something. It looks like, I believe, the heroes are going to win second place here. They win Flint. Much like in the real show, Jess, the hustlers are left empty-handed here to start Survivor Star Trek.
Well, I'm sure they can hustle up something.
You'd imagine so, whether they're bargaining with each other. I'm sure they would definitely bargain with Jeff Probst the most to open up deals, Angelina style.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Garrick would be getting people to give him a jacket, or could he just make a jacket?
Exactly. I think he'd probably be collecting scraps of other people's fabric to make a jacket to offer that for his vote in exchange. And then vote them out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see what's going on over on the Heroes tribe as we get settled in here. Nothing special. The idol is currently hidden. Let's go to the healers. Same thing. And the hustlers. Everyone's still getting settled in. Everyone's still getting used to each other. But before they can do that, it's time to get ready for their first immunity challenge. This one's for all the marbles. It looks like we have 2 tribes winning immunity. The hustlers, despite coming in last place at the marooning, were able to rally and win immunity. No hustler is going to be the first boot here. And the healers win immunity. So we are really mimicking...
Wow.
We are really mimicking the reality of Survivor Triple H. The heroes, Rob, we are seeing a Starfleet captain or Michael Burnham be the first boot here.
Now, did we see in the marooning, did anybody pick up the Ryan Ulrich advantage to be able to send an idol to the other camp?
So I believe for a little bit of inside Brant Steele here, I believe that the number of advantages that came in the real Survivor Triple H complicated the system too much. So we're going to consider those advantages non-canon. Only the idols exist here in Survivor Star Trek.
Okay.
So nothing fancy.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure to see what our prime directive was
It's in my uniform.
Yes. Okay. All right. So yeah, a hero is going to be out first. Very fitting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this will be just like the beginning of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, and Pike goes down once more.
Oh boy, that would be a real bummer. I know how much we love Pike.
All right, well, let's go to the Heroes tribe and see what happens here. So nobody found the idol. Looks like, Rob, Picard and Janeway are bonding slightly. You know, they did have that scene in Star Trek Nemesis where Janeway called Picard. Is it sort of like a pleasantries exchange, considering that they had this relationship beforehand?
Yeah, certainly possible that you feel like that these are 2 of the distinguished new school captains. Perhaps they are bonding over their experience dealing with the Borg.
That's true, actually. They both have significant Borg experience. I can imagine that's a good talking point, especially because we do not have any Borg cast members this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they probably also are talking about, they're both good friends with 7 of 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They have their own little mutual friend. This is sort of like a Dean and Kelly situation from Survivor 39.
Yeah, it's very much like that.
Right, but this says this has a lasting impact.
Oh, so let's see. It looks like we have our first alliance form. Maybe this will... Yep, it looks like Picard and Janeway have bonded, and they bring in Pike. So we have a trio here. Of course, that is not the majority of the tribe, but hell, in a first vote, any little vote helps.
They're halfway there.
They're halfway there. Let's see what happens over on the healers. They are safe from this vote, but I'm sure things are going to happen. Nobody has found the idol yet. Jet, Reno, and Odo have a major fight. Jess, I could see this coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I definitely. Jet Reno does not like it when other people tell her what to do, and Odo's favorite thing is telling other people what to do.
Yeah, you think that, Rob, do you think that Odo's playing a constable here? He's not
Yeah,
trying to play like a criminal?
I think so. He's playing the constable game right now. And so that I think ultimately that's not going to work. Maybe also Jet Reno needed Odo's bucket to get water from the well, and Odo didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Bit of a minor disagreement there. So we'll see if that has a lasting impact into the game. Let's go. What's going on at the Hustlers? I'm sure there's a lot of wackiness happening here. So it looks like we have an alliance being formed between Garrick and Loxana Troy. Interesting.
Could be a showmance.
Well, Loxana is also a woman who is has a keen fashion sense. You can imagine that she would want to enlist Garrick with his own sense of fashion.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think they have a lot to talk about. I think Loxana is someone who's going to try to play the flirt game. And I don't know how well that works on Garrick, but they could certainly be bonding over any number of things.
Wow, yeah. Loxana Troy is the new Parvati. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
Maybe that we could see Loxana Troy go on a real run and maybe even get to the end, a la a Game Changers Loxana Troyzan.
She'd be completely invisible the entire time. Exactly. But it looks like if Loxana also formed another alliance here. She's keeping her options open. She's also formed a twosome with Harry Mudd.
She's going to be one of his women.
Menage a Troy.
I think that's what we have to call both these alliances now. I think Rob perfectly coined it. We have a Menage a Troy going on.
Yep.
Loxana Troy already playing her hand out of the gate, though I guess considering this group, I think you'd want to start stuff sooner rather than later. So it makes sense. We'll see if that pays off later on. But for now, we are going to Tribal Council here. So we have a threesome here of Pike, Picard, and Janeway. The question is if they are going to stick together, if the other three are going to stick together. Rob, what are you thinking? Who's our first boot here?
I wonder if Kirk, most iconic person in the Star Trek universe, that I wonder if he's just too big of a target here at this first Tribal Council.
What do you think, Jess?
You got to take out the Boston Rob. I think Kirk has the biggest target on his back going
Indiana James.
Totally.
All right. So obviously nobody has an idol. Let's see what the votes are for this first vote of Survivor Star Trek. First vote, Kirk. Second vote. One vote, Cisco. One vote, Kirk. Kirk. That's 2 votes, Kirk. 1 vote, Cisco. Cisco, we're tied. 2 votes, Cisco. 2 votes, Kirk. 2 votes left. Cisco, we're 3 votes Cisco, 2 votes Kirk, 1 vote left. First person voted out of Survivor Star Trek, Ben Cisco. We hardly knew ye 4 to do. Jesse's going to get a nice rock to Gino at Ponderosa by himself. Ben Cisco, what happened with him?
God, I don't even know. Like, I wonder if he just maybe he has a very low tolerance for other people's BS. Like, remember, this is the guy that punched Q in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say he probably just had a short fuse and couldn't deal with the scheming. He might be just not quite on the same wavelength as everybody else.
Yeah, Jess, is it possible that Cisco still had some resentment towards Picard from the events of Wolf 359 and just never got on board with Picard, and so there was tension there?
I actually believe that Cisco's original vote, he wrote down Locutus, and Jeff Probst said, "No nicknames, guys, please."
Yeah, can somebody tell me who this vote is for?
Let's see who voted with Cisco, because that person's going to be in a bit of hot water. So it looks like the threesome of Pike, Picard, and Janeway obviously voted for Cisco. Cisco obviously voted for Kirk. I can imagine that Kirk also voted for Cisco. So it looks like Michael Burnham is the
Oh, Michael
sole
Burnham was the other Kirk
person
vote.
to join with
Hmm.
Cisco to vote. I don't know. Maybe Cisco saw a bit of his son in Michael Burnham. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll read his written statement about it as penned by Jake Cisco later on. But it looks like just Michael Burnham's going to be in a bit of trouble coming to this next episode. Though that is no different situation for Michael Burnham than normal.
She's used to being in trouble. I'm not worried about her.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if this beats her getting excommunicated and demoted from Starfleet, but it's a start.
Yeah, I mean, she's been to prison. This is nothing.
This is nothing.
Right.
Okay. And so Cisco is now officially out of the game. He's not going to like the Nexus or anything where he could potentially be brought back.
Yeah, he's not going to the nexus of extinction. He will not be brought back in any variety. There's no mirror universe version of him that's going to be brought over for sentimentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great Outcast twist, though, Mike. Seriously, we should do one where like their mirror universe counterparts all come back.
No, they come
Compete
back
for a
from
spot in the
mirror
game.
universe. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the question is, do they have goatees because they're in the mirror universe, or because they've been playing Survivor and those are their beards?
If it's Boston Rob, yeah, then that's the case. Okay.
All right, so let's move into episode 2 here. We are short one Cisco, but we have 17 people left in the game. Let's see what's going to happen in our next episode.
Okay.
All right, so looks like our alliance of Pike, Picard, and Janeway is holding pretty strong for now. Michael Burnham seems to be on the outs, and of course, Kirk, I guess, was sort of like a hanger-on. He figured anybody but me. Let me just vote with these people. Vote out Cisco. Over on the healers, nothing's going on. Let's go to the hustlers. Anything special? Okay, we have these alliances as the menage a Troy is still going strong. Let's see if it gets tested here. Let's go to our next challenge. Here we are. The healers in our next challenge are going to win immunity once more, and the heroes are also going to win. That means that the hustlers, indeed, the menage a Troy is going to be tested here. The hustlers will visit their first tribal council. They missed out on a fishing kit and lines and lures. You can imagine with how much these people love antiquated activities of the 20th century that they would love to be fishing.
This is one of those things where you know that the episode had the immunity challenge wrap up at like 8:23 because we are going to need the entire rest of the episode to get into what is going to go down on the Hustlers tribe because these people are nuts.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, Loxana Troy is the one who has the most strategic merit at this point. Let's see if she can keep stuff held together. But first, let's go to our Heroes tribe. They're celebrating not going to tribal council. Oh, Pike and Kirk find something in common.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they both
Yeah,
were captains of the Enterprise.
That's pretty straightforward.
Took them a few days, but they finally pointed at each other like, hey, you were a captain of the Enterprise, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Do you know a guy named
Hey,
Spock by any chance?
Exactly. Let's see what else is going on here. See what's going on here on the Heroes tribe. Oh, wait a minute. Janeway has left. I think maybe she felt a little bit of too much bro energy going on with Pike and Picard. So now we just have Picard, the partnership, without a Janeway.
Oh, no.
This doesn't bode well for Janeway.
I don't know. I mean, there are theoretically, only 2 of them and 3 other people. I guess the question is, does she have the wherewithal to turn Kirk and Michael Burnham against her former allies?
Well, it's a good question because we've started to see the Pike Kirk bond kind of blossoming here, and it's possible that she could get in the middle of that, but this is happening and she needs to get under it.
All right, let's move on to the Healers tribe. They are once again missing tribal council, but we'll see what happens here. Looks like we finally have our first alliance of the Healers, Rob. It is Agnes Girardi, Beverly Crusher, Jet Reno, and the Doctor. So we have, who is it? Odo, and I'm forgetting the other person, but they're the ones left out here. Looks like Jet Reno, true to her nature, a little more not into the alliance than the others.
McCoy.
Odo and
is the other-
Bones.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we go, Odo and Bones.
Ironically, one named Bones, the other with no bones.
Maybe they're bonding over that. They were too busy while everyone else is strategizing.
Or maybe they're having a fight over that.
All right, now let's go to our hustlers here, because this is the group that's going to tribal council. So nobody found it. The idol, Giorgio and Quark have a major
fight.
fight.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean this makes sense. I could imagine Quark trying to treat Giorgio like one of his Dabo girls, and she is just having nothing of it.
Yeah, and Quark didn't do great in the mirror universe, so he probably has a bone to pick with her over that too.
That's true. Actually, she maybe she knows a bit about the Ferengi, and so he wants to maybe on behalf of all Ferengi work against the Terrans here. Meanwhile, it looks like something's going on with one half of our menage a Troy. Trouble in Paradise. Rob,
Oh.
Mud and Troy have broken up.
Yeah. You would think that working with Harry Mudd would be something that would probably be a 39-day alliance for Loxana Troy, but no. Apparently, you just can't trust Harry Mudd.
Yeah, no Harry Mud bats with him anytime soon.
Okay. All right.
All right, so things are pretty open here going into the second tribal council. The only pairing we really have is what? It's Troy and Garrick is really the only pairing that we have. Everyone else are free agents. Giorgio and Quark got into a big fight. Jess, do you think that means that one of them is going to get the axe here?
I think they could target each other, and I think if everybody else is smart and is playing the right game, they will know to take advantage of that. But
All right.
let's see what direction the Fashion Alliance tries to take them in.
Yeah, and
What are you thinking, Rob?
where's Rafi in all of this? I feel like that her name hasn't even come up.
She's doing what's best for Rafi.
Okay. All right, but she's so far out, she could be an easy and ripe target for the first boot if they want an easy vote.
Let's see what happens here in the first Hustlers Tribal Council of the season. First vote, Rafi. Oh, Rob,
Uh-oh.
you might be prescient here. Second vote, Giorgio. One vote, Giorgio. One vote, Rafi. Rafi. Two votes, Rafi. One vote, Giorgio.
Oh.
Harry Mudd.
Oh.
We have two votes, Rafi. One vote, Giorgio. One vote, Harry Mudd. It is very tough to say vote Giorgio. Fifth vote, Harry Mudd. We are tied. Two votes,
Could this
Mudd.
be a 3-2-1?
Two votes, Rafi. Who's going to be the Suri of the Hustlers tribe? Or could we possibly see a three-way tie? Let's see what that sixth vote is. Harry Mudd, the tribe has spoken. 3-2 to 1 is enough to send Mudd back in that great Gormagander in the sky. Jess, he no longer has any time devices to send himself back to day one. This is it for Harry Mudd.
Well, I figured coming into this game, he'd either be able to get a handle on it and he'd manipulate everybody, or he'd just be too crazy. He'd bring like the Zane energy to it.
I could see that. And I think especially with someone like Garrick, it's very much like the, hey, I've already got that covered and I can, reasonably trust Quark. So like Mudd's sort of stepping on my ground here. I need to wash him away.
Yep. If you've got someone who's like the bodega version of you got to get them out right away.
All right, so let's see what happened here. So Garrick voted for Harry Mudd. Mudd voted for Raffi. Loxana voted for Harry Mudd. So the Fashion Alliance sort of dictated the Mudd boot here.
That
Seems like it.
Menage a Troy went south in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. Very much a broken situation. Looks like Giorgio joined Mudd in voting for Rafi. Maybe a bit of like a disco alliance going on here. It looks like poor Rafi was out on her own. Oh no, Quark voted for Giorgio. And so it looks like
Rafi
if I
was
could piece
the free radical that got picked up.
Right. I think Rafi knew she was in trouble here. She made a last-minute pitch to vote out Mudd. Luckily, she was able to pick up Loxana, who just had a big fight with Mudd. And, she brought in Garrick, and as a result, she was able to save her hide just in time here.
It's not looking good for Quark, though, because he really is playing the game with his heart here. He's not thinking at all. He's just like voting based on his grudges.
Do we think that Quark is doing a good job listening in on conversations, considering his ears?
I mean, he works at a bar. He's probably learned how to tune a lot of that out.
Is that canon? Do Ferengis have excellent hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not just for show, Rob.
Okay.
All right. So we are fortunately missing Harry Mudd as he goes back to his planet to make his own Survivor season with androids that I'm sure we'll simulate at some point in time. let's move on here to episode 3. And just as we figure that the Hustlers tribe is going to be chaotic, it's a pretty chaotic vote. I think things are still left in the air aside from that fashion alliance of Garrick and Loxana. Let's see what happens in this next episode here. We are down to the Sweet 16. Let's see what's going on over on the Heroes tribe. Over on the Heroes tribe, okay, looks like Picard is still holding pretty strong sans Janeway, but a partnership might be all you need. We of course have this Girardi, Crusher, Reno, and Doctor alliance. Looks like Reno is more on board. And let's see over on the Hustlers tribe, the Fashion alliance of Garrick and Loxana still holding strong. Let's go to our next challenge. Block in a hard place. Heroes tribe wins 3 hens and a rooster. Rob, who's the most likely to be the big Wendy here and let the chickens go?
I would think everybody's pretty practical here. Perhaps Michael Burnham?
Yeah, I could see that as well. I could see Michael Burnham letting them go and then, I don't know, saying that the chickens traveled back in time to go warn them about the reward that they were going to win or something, Jess.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Michael Burnham is a vegetarian after that terrible experience she had in the Mirror Universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So I think she's like, well, if I can't eat this, nobody else will. So unfortunately, a very bitter defeat for the Heroes, but they have immunity at least. Who else won here? The Healers, much like the season 35 proper, keep on keeping on. They will be safe once more. They get a dozen eggs, and I can imagine they have some very practical reasoning behind that. Odo will turn into a skillet to fry that up. They got a good breakfast going on.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a short order cook.
Ooh, I really like McCoy being the Keith Famey of this group.
Okay.
All right, let's move on here. So, Heroes Tribe seems like Pike is not into Picard. Picard has already broken up here, Rob.
I wonder if he's going to go off back to Janeway.
Oh, please take me back, Janeway. I realize Picard's such a lame-o.
He's 94 years old, and he's mostly artificial now.
And he keeps trying to play that flute, but I know it's not his hands. All right, let's move on to the Heroes here. Oh, we have our first idol find of the season. The Doctor has found the Healers Tribe idol. Yeah, I can imagine that, being a hologram, you kind of find the blips in the programming in the holodeck that allows you to find the idol. So the Doctor is in possession of the idol here in his medical bag. Jet Reno has a major meltdown.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
She's used to preventing major meltdowns in machinery, and she has her own. Maybe she's getting tired of this. Maybe she realized that Survivor wasn't necessarily for her, but I can imagine her having like a Gandia-esque, karate chop in a log.
This is on the heels of the big blow up with Odo also.
Yeah, exactly. And let's go over, it looks like, the Doctor, confident in his idol find, has now left the alliance of healers, leaving behind Agnes Girardi, Beverly Crusher, and Jet Reno. But it looks like another alliance is on the rise here. Jet Reno has found new solace in McCoy.
Okay.
Of that I could see.
Yeah.
I could see them both they're both very hardened and cynical, and they will have a lot in common. I feel like it's a real good vibe.
And I can imagine McCoy talking her off the ledge a bit of don't quit the game. I need you here. We're going to be fine. We're going to make the swap. And the Doctor just put himself out there completely with no alliances, though he does have an idol in his pocket. So maybe he's feeling a bit cocky here.
And McCoy is probably bonding with, we're out here with a bunch of shapeshifters and holograms, them good old fashioned humans working together.
Do you think McCoy and Kirk and their respective tribes sat around the campfire singing "Row, row, row your boat"?
Maybe. Is it somebody's birthday?
Well, let's keep going here into the Hustlers tribe. They're not going to tribal, or they are going to tribal council. Let's see what they have to do here. Okay, so Loxana and Giorgio have a major fight.
Giorgio is all up in the major.
And then look at this.
Then Loxana and Raffi have a small fight. Loxana is just power went to her empathic head, and it seems like she's just ready to take everyone down.
But Mike, what's interesting here, we have sort of like a Big Jeff-esque dilemma here. Would you rather have a major fight like Luoxana or Giorgio, or like Luoxana and Raffi have a small fight that has a lasting impact?
Yeah, would you rather like the relationship you have with Raffi right now?
Good question.
All right, let's see what's happening here. Oh, looks like we have another alliance forming here on the Hustlers tribe. Giorgio and Quark, despite getting in that fight on day one, Jess, they have found some solace, and with it comes a bit of a strategic bond.
Those crazy kids worked it out.
Yeah, I think,
Not very loyal, though.
not very loyal, but you know what? I think loyalty is hard to come by in this Hustlers tribe. So I think, listen, grab onto any lifesaver you can and just have it tow you to the nearest station, and then you can
Is
sort of
that
figure it out.
Is that like floaters grab a life raft?
Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's go to tribal council here because I'm very excited to see how this turns out. Okay, so we have Garrick, Waxana, Giorgio, Quark, and Raffi. So now we have two pairs. We have Garrick and Waxana. We have Giorgio and Quark. Raffi could be in the middle, or Rob, much like you did once upon a time in the Amazon, she could get Christy Smith here.
Yeah, but she voted at the last vote with Garrick and Loaxana Troy, so I would have to think that she's going to vote with them again, and potentially, I feel like Giorgio is definitely. I think that Quark, I think he's more like what he is, but Giorgio, I think that she could be more of a snake in the grass.
Snake leaf in the grass, specifically.
Snake leaf in the grass, yeah.
As much as Rafi's concerned. All right, so no idol being played, obviously. Let's see how the votes bear down here. First vote, Rafi. Second vote, Garrick.
Oh, interesting.
One vote Garrick, one vote Rafi. Rafi, that's two votes Rafi, one vote Garrick. Garrick, two votes Garrick, two votes Rafi, one vote left. Let's see who the third person vote out of Survivor Star Trek is. Garrick! Wow.
Oh.
The Fashion Alliance gets cut here as Garrick gets the Batleth.
They just couldn't make it work.
Apparently not. Wow. I had high hopes for Garrick going into this. Did not expect him to go out as the third boot here. So it looks like it really was a matter of Rafi in the middle. And they were the new power couple of Giorgio and Quark were able to swing Rafi over.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I think this is who you target. If you see that there's power being grabbed, you don't cut off the person who's in charge. You get their lieutenant, because you might, the person who's in charge knows she's being targeted. The lieutenant cuts off her power, and you never see it coming.
So you think, Rob, did Garrick get a Garricked as in Survivor Fiji?
I didn't think of it that way, Mike. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting that, Loxana was going around making a big brouhaha. She thought she was in power, but the others were able to turn the votes around on her and Garrick. Now she is left without a right-hand man. She is about to go into the swap, so maybe that's going to be her saving grace.
Oh, yeah, early swap this season. I forgot about that.
Yeah, not looking good for Loxana. And we say goodbye to Garrick here as he heads back to the Obsidian Order to tell tales. He's probably going to tell people that he won this season and that he also finished in the jury, and just to confuse everybody further about his actual placement in the season.
Yeah, and he'll say he went back from the edge of extinction, and
he found 17 idols.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But in reality, he was the married to her Mikey B.
All right, episode 4 here. We are left with 5 heroes, 6 healers, 4 hustlers, but it's all about to change. Everybody, drop your communicator badges. We are swapping tribes, and we're going from 3 to 3 here. Let's see how it shakes down. So the new Heroes tribe consists of Girardi, Janeway, McCoy, Raffi, and the Doctor. So looks like things are pretty evenly split. We have 3 healers, but they're not from the same alliances, along with Janeway and Raffi, both sort of free agents in their own variety. The new healers tribe looks to be an interesting bunch. We have Crusher, Kirk, Picard, Michael Burnham, and Giorgio. Bit of an interesting reunion here between Picard and Beverly Crusher, as well as Michael Burnham and Giorgio. Kirk's just kicking it. as he's wont to do. And the Hustlers tribe, we have Loxana, Troy, and Quark together after that pretty contentious last tribal council, as well as Pike, Reno, and Odo. Jess, anything stick out to you right now with these configurations of tribes?
Well, Loxana Troy loves Odo.
That
So
is
she
very
loves
true.
him almost as much as she loved Picard. So that bodes well for her. I think Odo and Quark, we're going to see that showdown that I assumed would be happening at some point. I like the way the Healers tribe is shaking out here. I think Picard and Crusher could be the new power couple, and I think Kirk is going to feel really loved and appreciated as both of these factions try to sway him to their side.
Yeah. Don't forget about that. Odo and Jet Reno had that big fight earlier in the season when Odo was bringing that big constable energy to the healers tribe. So just because,
BCE.
yeah, just because that they were from these same healers tribe doesn't mean that they are going to be on the same page now on the hustlers tribe.
That's what makes it a really interesting swap. Is the first two tribes have a 3-1-1 majority, but the three are anything but together. The Hustlers have a 2-2-1, but again, these pairs are anything but together. So really, anything can happen here in these new configurations. Let's see how these new tribes get settled in here. So on the Heroes tribe, McCoy is going to get used to his new camp, and he is going to find that idol, and he is going to stash it in his med kit where nobody is going to find it. McCoy has the idol here. Bones, put it in the lower third. He's got an idol in his bag.
Yeah, doctors are 2 for 2 on finding idols so far this season. I guess they're good for like examining things. They've got like the tricorder, so maybe that's giving them an advantage.
Do you think are they cheating that they can use tricorders to search for idols, Jess?
I don't. I think the tricorders were probably confiscated. Yeah, I think that's something you win in a reward later in the game.
Yeah, I can imagine that Kirk, sort of like Kobayashi Maru style, smuggled something into the game in a certain orifice. And we also have, so this is an interesting situation as well, because McCoy is on a tribe with the Doctor, who also has an idol. So 2 idols on 1 tribe right now. So as we're scrolling through here, just a quick review. So Girardi is missing her allies, and Bones is missing his main ally. The question is, will they work together? We shall see. Let's go over to our new Healers tribe. And as we saw here, Beverly is left on her own. Georgiou is left without her boo, Quark. Let's go to the Hustlers. I think the Hustlers tribe is the only one to not have an idol, so we'll see exactly what happens here. Reno's without her closest allies, and Quark is without his boo, Georgiou. Let's see how these new tribes square off in a reward challenge. Looks like the new Heroes tribe is going to win peanut butter jelly, bread, and bags of potato chips. Everyone can chow down. I'm sure, considering the tribe is mostly doctors, they're going to also advise on the bad nutritional value of peanut butter jelly sandwiches and chips.
Okay. I think that the holographic doctor doesn't eat that much, so that's a good person to have on your tribe.
Exactly. Like, you can always get seconds. Over on the immunity challenge, the new Hustlers tribe, Pike, Reno, Loxana Troy, Odo, and Quark are going to win immunity and avoid tribal council. And the new Heroes tribe, filled with peanut butter and jelly, and not if you're a hologram, have also won immunity, meaning the new Healers tribe is finally going to go to tribal council in this new swap. Let's see how it proceeds. So we know that McCoy and the Doctor have idols. Let's see if anything else happens here.
2 idols in a 5-person tribe. Could be a wild tribal council.
Something's going on. Oh, Rafi and the Doctor have a major fight. Not a great first impression that the Doctor's leaving on Rafi here, Jess.
Maybe she ate his reward and he got upset.
Yeah, I could also see she tend to get a little freaked out by the Rios holograms in Picard. I can imagine that just working with the pure concept of a hologram is something that unnerves her.
It's true. She's not a fan.
Rob, over on the new Healers tribe, Crusher and Burnham find something in common.
Yeah, I wonder what it could be. I don't know. I don't know what they could have in common. They're both in Starfleet.
It's a good commonality across literally nearly everybody in this game. But I could see it. Maybe we don't know much about Beverly Crusher. I mean, maybe Beverly Crusher is relaying the story to Burnham that she once had sex with a ghost. Maybe that's like a nice little campfire tale.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they both like to tap dance.
Yeah.
That could work. Maybe Crusher teaches Burnham how to tap dance.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know
Well,
exactly.
We see an alliance forming here just in time. Ooh, a nice alliance between Kirk and Giorgio. I could see this happening. Not only that, but I could see a possible showmance forming right now.
Showmance.
I ship it.
I absolutely
I want
ship
to
Kirk and
hear.
Mira Giorgio.
I
Starship
want to hear
it.
all the Wandoffs about this.
Yeah. Wow. Kirk and Giorgio.
Yeah, I mean,
Kicking it.
listen. They're kirking it.
Kirking it.
They're gonna have a good time. They're gonna have a good time no matter what. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens on the new Hustlers tribe. Waxana and Quark bond slightly. Okay, so this could be a situation where like they know they're the only two hustlers left. They're gonna try to find some common ground despite what happened last vote. Also, there's an alliance forming. Oh, looks like Roxana Troy has found another mate.
Yeah.
She's her new Garrick in the form of Christopher Pike.
A new menage a Troy has formed.
I ship
No-
that too.
Menage a Troy number 3, number trois, as it were. Let's move forward. So the new Healers tribe is going to tribal council here. So it's Beverly Crusher, Kirk, Picard, Michael Burnham, and Giorgio. So this is another interesting situation. So we had Kirk and Giorgio officially forming an alliance. We have Crusher and Burnham getting along. Rob, do we think this means Picard's going to be left out?
Certainly is possible, or that we could see a situation like we just saw with Rafi where he could be the person to jump on board. I guess the question is, which side would he be more likely to jump on? I would have to think it would be Beverly and Michael.
I can also imagine, Jess, do you think there are any chances that these three heroes stick together knowing that they have the majority?
I mean, it's possible. Kirk and Picard always got along pretty well when they were in the Nexus together.
Mm-hmm.
They have some
That's
good
true.
memories from that. So
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see who's going to be the first boot in the new Healers tribe here on
Yes.
Survivor Star Trek.
Kirk always knew that he would get voted out alone when he was on the edge of extinction.
All right,
Although
let's
that's
see.
not how he ultimately got voted out. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see if he ends up getting voted out on a slab of metal here. First vote, Picard.
oh boy.
Second vote, Michael Burnham. That's 1 vote, Michael. 1 vote, Picard. Third vote, Michael. That's 2 votes, Burnham. 1 vote, Picard. Michael Burnham, the tribe has spoken unanimous vote for the first time this season. Everyone, including her new tap dance instructor, Beverly Crusher, has decided to crush Burnham, sending her promptly away and back to Vulcan to confront a disappointed Sarek.
Yeah, that really was a interesting turn of events here with this vote, because you had 3 people from her original tribe there. 2 of them voted against her, and even Beverly Crusher, who she had something in common with, also voted for her. So I don't know, maybe
Well, Rob, that family is just not good at Survivor.
yeah, I guess so. Maybe once she threw out Picard's name, everybody's like, she's got to go. Bridge too far.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the bridge too far. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be a situation, honestly, where we talked about the heroes were not that particularly tight. And I think that maybe Giorgio is someone who would want to take advantage of that. Maybe she's angry at Michael for dragging her into the Prime universe. And so she wanted to exact her revenge here and was able to cobble together a vote, sort of like Sandra with Amber in Survivor 40. You know, it was some personal business outside of the game that ended up being Michael Burnham's end here.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. Maybe 900 years in the future, Michael Burnham will win a season of Survivor. Only time will tell. Let's move on here. So we got our episode 5 as these new tribes are still working themselves out. Let's see how it shakes down. Okay, we got our 2 idols found by McCoy and the Doctor. Let's move on to our new Healers tribe who just went to Tribal Council. Unfortunately, nobody has an idol here, so we shall see. I mean, with a unanimous vote on Michael, we'll see if it's as united of a front as they want us to believe. Let's go to the Hustlers tribe.
Yeah, I do want to say that I think that Kirk and Giorgio now have the controlling interest in the tribe.
That's
in
true.
This
They are down to
4-person
4.
tribe now, that they have basically this showmance is going to be dictating whether it's Picard or Crusher goes next if they go to another tribal council.
Do you think Picard and Crusher can sort of communicate with each other telepathically like they did in that one episode to try to remind it to go to Rocks against Kirk and Giorgio, to go to Vasquez Rocks? Ooh, all right. We are 3 for 3 on healers finding idols.
Yes.
Jet Reno has found the Hustlers Tribe idol. All idols are accounted for now. And Jet Reno is probably feeling pretty darn safe right now, Jess.
You know, this is probably a good time for me to note that I think Jet Reno was my preseason winner pick.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
And I'm really excited to see where she takes it. I think if anybody had a good chance of finding idols, it's somebody who works in a detail oriented field like engineering. Like, you know where all the nooks and crannies are.
All right. Well, let's move into. I believe we have a reward challenge in this episode. So let's see what food the doctor will win and not eat. Looks like the Healers Tribe is going to have a comeback in this challenge. They're going to win iced coffee, pastries, and coffee and tea brewing supplies.
Earl Grey tea.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me.
Janeway is steaming, looking at that coffee and realizing that it's not hers. But it looks like which tribe is? Oh well, you know what? Janeway's gonna get a little bit. The Heroes tribe is also going to win a bit of reward. They win some iced coffee. So you know what? It's not nothing. And it looks like the new Hustlers tribe, much like the Hustlers tribe of old, is deprived of any caffeine boosts here.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a barista.
I can imagine Bones getting like behind the counter at like the Survivor reward, trying to serve things up. All right, let's
Okay.
move on here.
Immunity.
Community challenge. The Healers tribe is going to avoid tribal council, and joining them are the Hustlers. So the new Heroes tribe is going to tribal council here in the swap, the two idol tribe. So let's see what happens here. So we have McCoy and the Doctor having idols. Let's see if one comes out or both at these tribal councils. Looks like no change in alliances. I don't think there were alliances in the first place. Nothing occurred over on the Healers. On the Hustlers, Jet Reno has the immunity idol, and a new alliance has formed. Loxana Troy continues to pick up the pieces here as she has formed alliance and a three-way
What a
alliance.
hustler she is.
She really personifies it here as she forms an alliance with Odo and Quark, a DS9 and I guess DS9 adjacent alliance here, Jess.
She was the first person I wanted to cast for this Hustlers tribe, and she is certainly proving that she has earned the spot.
All right, so she can rest with a bit with this new group of guys and or shapeshifters surrounding her. As we go to the Heroes tribe, we have Girardi, Janeway, Bones, Raffi, and the Doctor. Jess, what are you thinking here? So we have McCoy and the Doctor both have idols. We have 3 healers to 1 hero and 1 hustler, but the 3 are not in sync whatsoever.
Yeah, it really is anybody's game right now. And the question is, with those 2 idols out there, if either one of those guys feels like they're in danger, are they going to be able to detect it and play it?
Yeah, Rob, I don't know what I'm feeling about Agnes Girardi right now. She's been a bit purple.
Yeah, super purple. We haven't seen much from her in terms of where this is going to go. We've had very little alliance talk also here in this Heroes tribe. This just might be a round where everybody just plays their idols because that who knows how this is going to go.
All right, let's see if it's like the Wild Wild West, but not like that Fistful of Data's episode. Let's see what happens. So McCoy has an idol, and the Doctor has an idol. Let's see if any idols are played here. Ooh, looks like McCoy is using an idol on the
What?
Doctor.
Wow.
So-
wow.
It's one of those situations where the Doctor convinced him that he was in danger, even though he had his own idol.
Yeah, this was a hold up Bones moment.
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
That's
So
delicious.
McCoy plays the idol on the Doctor. Will the Doctor, like Tony and LJ at the Kagion merge, will the Doctor in turn play his idol on McCoy?
Oh, I would like to see the Doctor really become a Tony Vlachos like figure here. Let's see, or if he's going to keep it to himself. Doesn't look like he is. Okay, so any votes against the Doctor will not count. First vote goes to Raffi. Janeway. That's 1 vote Janeway, 1 vote Raffi. Did the Doctor just get Bones to waste his idol? 2 votes Janeway, 1 vote
Looks
Raffi.
like it.
Wow. All right. This could have been,
Oh.
this is a slam dunk vote against Catherine Janeway. And the Doctor, probably in the bigger story of the night, the Doctor gets Bones to waste his idol on him.
Janeway off to the Delta Quadrant.
Wow. Wow, another hero fallen by the wayside here. Looks like she was going for the common scapegoat in Rafi, but it looks like everyone else joined up together to get rid of her. What happened here, Jess? Why did Janeway end up getting the bat left here?
This really doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how she didn't have any fights with anybody. I mean, maybe could she have, when the doctor said he didn't want his iced coffee, she should have waited for everybody to divide it up amongst themselves. Just one of those Randy Bailey cookie moments.
Yeah, this is just, it goes back to what I've been saying about the season where this is an episode, we have 3 tribes, we have a reward challenge, we have an immunity challenge. There's just not enough time to be able to explain what's going on with the strategy. And so we end up in a situation like this where we really don't understand what happened in the game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to turn to the Trekkie know-it-alls to see exactly how they
or
can break
give
down
us a
season.
2-hour episode here, and then we'll be able to explain what happened.
Give us 6 movies to describe what happened.
Put this on CBS All Access. Everybody wants it, and people will pay for that.
Yes,
and they'd be swearing so much.
Yes, Rafi swears by it. So does Girardi.
Yeah, so it looks like Janeway gets, including the doctor, votes out his captain. He voted out his own captain in Janeway. It looks like she just couldn't get her footing in that new tribe. Maybe it was just that, maybe the healers stuck together here and Rafi was able to acclimate herself better than Janeway did. She was always known as someone who was a bit of a stickler when it came to the Prime Directive. So maybe they were looking for someone a little more loosey-goosey. But here we move on here. Looks like the Heroes tribe is just winnowing down here. I think we only have 3 of them left out of the remaining, 14 people?
Yeah, and we have every single healer is still left in the game. That's pretty cool.
Heroes did have a big target on their back coming in.
They were some of the biggest names, so it would make sense that it'd work out in that sort of returning players way. Let's see how these tribes are shaking out as we reach episode 6. So the doctor has an idol. And I still cannot believe he was able to convince Bones to play an idol on him when he had one in his pocket the entire time. Just the sheer...
Bashir, no, he's not in this game.
No,
not one of the healers.
No, he's off doing his own little secret mission on another holodeck as a Bashir secret agent. Maybe Garrick was able to join him coming back from Ponderosa.
In Dorne, yeah.
Bashir was totally going to be Garrick's loved one.
Oh, if only. So we sit down and have a lunch together. All right, let's see what's going on the Healers tribe. Looks like everything is a bit of a same old, same old. Then we go over, of course.
Yeah, Kirk and Giorgio still together.
Kirk and Giorgio is still kicking it. Let's move over to the Hustlers tribe. Reno has the idol, and it looks like, I believe we have a new alliance, right? We have Pike and Troy working together, as well as Waxana Troy. Waxana Troy has all of her outs working out at the moment. She wants to make this merge, and so she's going to make sure she's allied with literally everyone in the tribe to make sure she gets there.
Look, I respect the hustle.
All right, let's go into our reward challenge here. I believe this is the one where don't remember this one, but I'm sure it's fine. The Healers tribe.
Yeah, this is what everybody's like pulling the rope from different points to try to balance something.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the one in the real show where the Soko tribe had been losing every challenge, and then they finally won pizza. That's what I remember it for. Mm-hmm. And true to their yellow name, the Healers win reward here. They win 10 pizzas and soft drinks. I don't know how Jean-Luc Picard feels about pizza, but it'd be very interesting to watch him interact with it.
Well, we do know how he feels about pizza because we saw him eat some. Are these Riker pizzas or are these Fijian pizzas? Though
these are like Riker is the chef at Fijian Ponderosa.
Is he like the short order cook at the Baloo Burger Bar?
Yeah, exactly. And that Lieutenant Brett LaBelle is going to come on. Rob has a transmission and just completely belittle Riker's cooking.
It's true. Brett LaBelle has a real problem with Riker, and the pizzas are so tiny and they're not even that good.
And of course, one pizza, not to be demeaned, is won by the Heroes tribe as well. So the Hustlers, Loxana tribe might have, a lot of men in her favor, but she's not having a pizza anytime soon. Let's go to our immunity challenge. Last one before the merge, Disky Business. This is where they have to do the team challenge where they have to stack immunity on a disc. Really big test of teamwork. The new Healers tribe is going to win immunity, as do the new Heroes. So it looks like our new Hustlers tribe is going to enter tribal council. We're going to have a 4-4-4 going into the merge. Should be super interesting. This is the Loxana Rules tribe. The last time she went to tribal council, she thought she was in charge, and her right hand man got voted out. So let's see what happens here. Nothing on the Heroes tribe. Over on the Healer tribe, Kirk is impressing the rest of the team.
Sounds about right.
Imagine he's showing off some of those Gorn-esque karate moves, like Kirk Fu.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Looks like
Trouble in paradise.
Kirking it is done. Giorgio is done with Kirk. She has left the alliance, and
What?
Kirk shocking
Oh, no!
the game.
Oh!
Wow.
Kirk. Holy
Oh.
moly.
Brokenhearted, I guess.
Captain's log. I can't take it anymore.
I mean, this does seem of all the captains, this would be Kirk, right? Like the most dramatic exit from the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. He
I
wasn't
did not see
going to go to tribal council, but he was just so emotionally overwrought with what happened with Giorgio, felt so embarrassed. He decided to take his ball and go home. He was impressing the rest of the tribe. He had the merge
Yeah.
right there in his grasp, but he couldn't make it. And
Yeah.
he's
Jess,
heading back.
I have to ask that. Do you think was this all a play from Giorgio to Kirk it with James Tiberius and then break his heart and get him to leave the game?
To love him and leave him?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
boy,
an Edith
I
Keeler.
mean, she's cold. I didn't know she was that cold.
Wow.
Wow. So
Wow.
Kirk, in leaving the game, he elects not to, leave by the boat. He seals himself up inside of a coffin, has them play Amazing Grace on the bagpipes, and launches himself over to Ponderosa.
Yeah. Wow. The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many.
Wow. I mean, this also might be the first time we've encountered an outright quit
Yeah.
in our brain sales. We've done a medevac before, but we have quit. And so we can fast forward through this. I believe that tribal council is going to be canceled in lieu of Kirk quitting. So yep, tribal council has been canceled. Kirk is going to be our last
Wow.
Kramer's boot by quitting the game. You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Maybe
And
he just wanted to go on the Ponderosa trip. Maybe
Wow.
he was recruited and told that he was just going to get a free vacation. They were going to vote him out early, and he stayed in the game longer. And just like, this isn't for me. I want to go on the free vacation.
Wow. Okay. And really, this was what was the tribe? The Heroes tribe that would have gone to tribal
The
council.
Hustlers.
The Hustlers. I mean, that Waxana Troy really was able to dodge a bullet and not have to go to this tribal council.
Yeah, though the interesting thing is that Kirk's going to be brought back in a later season, and Jeff Probst is going to claim that, he had Iramotic syndrome, but actually he quit the game. Like, let's not, gussy this up here. This was not a medevac. Kirk quit.
Wow. Okay. So what a twist of fate, Mike. We talked about how it was going to be a 4-4-4 scenario going into the merge, but things are radically different now.
Yeah, so if you want to proceed, we can actually merge here. We're going to... I guess whatever the 24th century version of Outback Steakhouse is.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, Mike. Very nice tribe name.
So the Roddenberry tribe, which is merged, let's read them off here. We have 12 people left. Agnes Girardi, Beverly Crusher, Christopher Pike, Jean-Luc Picard, Jet Reno, Bones McCoy, Waxana Troy, Odo, Giorgio, Quark, Raffi, and the Doctor. So a quick summary here. The Doctor and Jet Reno both have idols. We have 6 healers left. We have only 2 heroes left, and we have 4 hustlers left. So now at the merge in the actual season, Heroes, Healers, Hustlers, we saw that the heroes and hustlers came together saying there's too much of a majority here on the healers. We want to join up and take them out. And it worked to a certain extent. Now they would have tying numbers here, but Rob, do you expect a similar situation happening? Or do you think that it might be easy pickings to get rid of Picard?
I don't know. We could see some sort of like a Malcolm and Denise type situation where that people aren't as worried about them because there's only 2 of them left in the game. So
yes, the Matt Singh maneuver, I believe it's called.
Yeah, so they could ultimately end up being swing votes to take a look at, to maybe I guess we could see like in the original Heroes versus Hustlers, everybody ganging up on the healers at the merge. So I think that's probably the more likely scenario.
Or, hear me out, Pike and Picard just run around the island really, really fast and make everybody think that there's more of them than are actually there.
Oh,
Oh, I
interesting.
thought you meant they were going to run really fast around the sun and turn back time and go to 1987.
Bring Kirk back.
Yep.
Hmm.
All right, well let's get into our new tribe breakdown here because we have a lot of alliances to sift through.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, Reno has an idol. The Doctor has an idol. I believe that no new idols will be hidden until all have been expended. So they're both sort of sitting on them right now. Maybe the Doctor will get Reno to use her idol on him. So we have some groupings back together here. The healer women of Girardi, Crusher, and Reno are back together, as is the Dry Alliance of Reno and McCoy. Let's see. Looks like Giorgio and Quark are back together. Pike and and I wonder how Giorgio is, whether she's feeling celebrant or tragic at the departure of Kirk. Pike and Troy are still together, as are Troy, Odo, and Quark. It looks like really the OG hustlers seem to have the most connections of this tribe.
I mean, Troy is running things.
Well, it looks like at least one hero will not go home tonight because in the first individual immunity challenge, Jean-Luc Picard is going to go home with the necklace here, or I guess the immunity uniform, we should call it.
Okay. All right. So Picard will not go home.
All right, let's see what's going on here. So idols are found. Looks like something's going on. McCoy and Odo have a minor disagreement. Meanwhile, Picard and Loxana find something in common. Oh, could they finally be working together after she turned away her advances so many times, Jess?
Well, what's really interesting is that Loxana is also working her magic with Crusher.
I could see sort of like Loxana sort of is straddling both sides of the franchise here and working a DS9 alliance and a TNG alliance as well.
Is Loxana Troy playing the best Survivor game of all time? Or is she going to get caught?
She's going to be the Rob G. Otis of this season.
That's the thing. It's got to be a question of like, she has so many connections right now. It's whether everyone catches wise and decides to turn on her. But it seems like right now she's able to take advantage of, I think, the chaos of the merge to at least guarantee her safety until jury. Let's see who's going to become the last pre-jury member here, the Jessica Johnston of this season. So again, Reno and the Doctor both have idols. Let's see if they use them. I can't imagine that they will. What do we think here, Jess? Because again, anything can happen at the merge, and we see a lot of 2-person and 3-person alliances. If you had to wager a guess as to who's going to be our 12th placer here, who's it going to be?
I think it's going to be someone that is outside of Loxana's orbit. I mean, she is really the power player here. It's going to be a more new schooler. I think Raffi doesn't really have the connections that she needs to stay afloat. She'd be an attractive target that everybody could be on board with. She has some opportunities here to make a real statement about who she wants to be with for the long game. So I think if I were Loxana and I were looking to cement my power position in this game, I would not make a big move here. I would go with somebody that everybody could agree on.
What do you think, Rob? Who's a good merge boot here?
I wonder if the healers who, could be. I guess maybe that I was going to say Loxana Troy, but maybe Odo is going to protect her with the other original healers and might say like, oh no, don't go with her. So I wonder. I mean, Picard would have been a good pick. This is a tough one.
Yeah, because Pike is also working with Loxana, so you'd imagine that she'd want to keep him around. It could be a shot at one of these healers who she's not working with at all. So maybe in that capacity, maybe Reno and the Doctor could be looking to use their idols if they want to keep this healer majority.
Okay.
All right, let's see what happens in the first vote after the merge.
Okay, if anybody has an idol, it's the time to play it.
No one plays their idol. First vote, Agnes Girardi. Second vote, Odo. One vote Odo, 1 vote Girardi. Giorgio. 1 vote Girardi, 1 vote Odo, 1 vote Jojo. I hate saying that. 2 votes Odo, 1 vote Giorgio, 1 vote Girardi. Girardi, that is 2 votes Girardi, 2 votes Odo. Let's make it 3 votes Girardi. So 3 votes Girardi, 2 votes Odo, 1 vote Giorgio. Giorgio. Okay, so we're building some votes here. Giorgio, that's 3 votes Girardi and 3 votes Giorgio. Girardi, 4 votes Girardi, 3 votes Giorgio. Odo.
What is happening?
The votes are flying everywhere here like phaser signals. We have 4 votes Girardi, 3 votes Giorgio, 3 votes Odo, 2 votes left. Odo, 4 votes Girardi, 4 votes Odo, 3 votes Giorgio. We could be looking at a possible 3-way tie here, but Odo is sinking into the goo. Joining the founders. He's the
going back to the Great Link.
I would say he's the founder of the Jury Villa, but he did not make the jury, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. The Jessica Johnson.
Yeah, so Odo, the tribe is spoken by a vote of 5 to 4 to 3. You'd have to imagine.
Wild.
They must have been trying to split an idol.
That could be the case, but I wonder, did Luxana turn on one of her allies here? Let's see what happens. So looks like a bit of a healer civil war here. Girardi voted for Odo. Crusher voted for Odo. Pike threw a vote onto Giorgio. Picard threw a vote onto Odo. Reno threw a vote onto Odo. So it looks like...
Oh, the healers thought he was a turncoat, maybe.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It looks
he flipped
like
to the Hustlers. They knew about
getting
his
too
alliance.
close to Luxana.
Yeah.
Luxana voted for Girardi. Okay, so it looks like Luxana and her cronies decided to try to mount an insurrection against Girardi. Giorgio and Quark decided to join in there. Meanwhile,
were they mounting an insurrection against a nemesis?
Oh boy. Well, hopefully neither one, because they're not very good movies. But it looks like, meanwhile, Rafi, Pike, and the Doctor were in on another plan to vote for Giorgio. But meanwhile, Picard joined up with Crusher. Picard joined up with Crusher, Girardi, and Reno, that triumvirate of healer women, to get rid of Odo.
Yeah, and McCoy
again,
too.
And McCoy. And once again, Luxana has lost her closest ally in a tribal council.
She's gonna bounce back. She's amazing. She's gonna turn it around.
Wow, so we are Odo-less here. There's a lot of odor. There is no Odo. In the final 11 here, we have reached the jury stage. Let's see where things go from here. This is going to be exciting. So we know that Reno has an idol. We know the Doctor has an idol. Should we give a name to these 3 healer women, Girardi, Crusher, and Reno?
I think we can just call them the healer women.
Yeah, or like Starfleet's angels.
Sure.
All right, so we have Starfleet's angels. We have the alliance of Reno and Bones. You can imagine that Reno brought McCoy in to vote out Odo last time. Giorgio and Quark.
Yeah, could Bones and Reno be the alliance known as Borneo?
Yes, I love that so much.
Yes, that's fantastic.
And I guess, I don't know, who's the snake and who's the rat? I guess we'll determine when they make the final 2 here.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a zoologist.
Giorgio and Quark, even though they were on the wrong side of the vote, they are still working together. I think Luxana is still working with Pike, and now she has Quark all to herself as well, even though she's missing her boo thing, Odo. Let's see if Luxana can recover from here. We have a reward challenge where a group of 5 castaways is going to win some reward here. Let's scroll down and see who it might be. Jet Reno does not participate. She's probably hunting for idols anyway.
But automatically gets the reward along with the group 2.
And it looks like going on the famous spaghetti dinner reward are Agnes Girardi, Jean-Luc Picard, McCoy, Quark, and Raffi. Do we think that Quark is definitely like scrounging around that spaghetti for an idol clue, right, Jess?
I think Quark is going to be one of the people that I think he's going to like throw the plate into the woods, and then we're going to get to like then you're going to get to like Picard goes and to eat, and he's like, why is the spaghetti on a napkin?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue our hero dominance in the immunity challenge as Pike wins the next immunity challenge. Maybe this is why they got rid of all the heroes pre-merge, Rob, is because they knew they'd dominate the challenges.
Yep, 2 for 2 in the individual immunity so far.
All right, so Pike is guaranteed safe here. Let's see what's going on at camp in a post-Odo world. what's going to happen. Specifically, what is Loxana Troy going to do? Because you know she's going to do something. Rafi has a major meltdown.
Oh no.
Oh, withdrawal is a bitch.
It's finally taking effect, and it looks like her and the doctor have a small fight. Unfortunately, she's taking it out on the hologram. She really does not have a lot of good feelings towards him. And that's it. So let's proceed here. Okay, so let's look at the map here. So we know that Starfleet's Angels have dominance here. Last time they were able to rope in Picard and McCoy. Do we assume that this alliance sticks together even though they're only 5 out of 11 at this point?
Well, I think we have to look at who are the people that voted for Georgiou at that last tribal council.
I believe that was, I'd have to imagine that was Pike. I think that was Raffi and the doctor, maybe were the 3 who voted for Georgiou.
Well, Raffi and the doctor might not be on the same page, but I wonder if 2 or 3 of those votes might be up for grabs for the Starfleet women or the healer women to potentially put together with Picard and Bones.
Yeah, what do you think, Jess? What do you think is gonna is the healer supermajority gonna stick together here?
If I were part of that group, that's what I would do. But they do need to pull in a couple other people. So it's a really good question what they're going to do next. And I think they've all got to be looking out for. They all have to know what a huge threat Loxana is. If I were them, I would probably be targeting her next just to make sure that she doesn't do any more damage.
All right, let's see who's going to become the first member of the jury here in Survivor Star Trek, the council that will determine when Q brings everyone in for a trial on humanity or whatever species you may be, who will be serving on the jury. So once again, the doctor has an idol, Reno has an idol. Let's see what happens. Looks like no idols are played. First vote, Quark.
Oh, they're just dismantling Loxana's alliances.
Picard,
one by
that's
one.
1 vote Picard, 1 vote Quark. 2 votes Quark, 1 vote Picard. Quark, that's 3 votes Quark,
Oh, boy.
1 vote Picard. Raffi, that's 2 votes Raffi, 3 votes Quark, 1 vote Picard. Raffi, we're tied. 3 votes Raffi, 3 votes Quark, 1 vote Picard, 4 votes left. Raffi, that is 4 votes Raffi, 3 votes Quark, 1 vote Picard. Raffi, 5 votes to 3 to 1. You'd have to imagine, yup, Raffi, the first member of our jury, 7 to 3 to 1. Raffi, the free agent for so long in this game, finally ends up getting cut here. Jess, what do you think happened?
I think maybe everybody decided it wasn't the right time to make a big move, and so they just rallied everyone around a target they'd all agree on.
Yeah, she had the big meltdown. She also had the fight with the doctor. I also wonder if that 1 vote for Picard is simply says JL on it.
Exactly. Parentheses, mom. All right, let's take a look actually and see how this vote shook down, because once again we had multiple people left in the minority. So it looks like Starfleet's Angels voted out Raffi, Pike voted for Raffi, Picard threw a vote onto Quark, as did okay, so maybe Starfleet's Angels didn't vote together.
That was an idol split.
Yeah,
Mike, that was an idol split right there.
It looks like the group that voted together last time split their votes between Quark and Raffi. Loxana joined them and also voted for Raffi, as did Pike. Georgiou voted for Raffi. Quark voted for Raffi. And it looks like, indeed, you were right, Rob. Raffi threw a spite vote onto Picard.
Yeah, so interesting.
It could have been one of those situations where it was like, this is not a vote against you, JL. It's a vote for you. I hope you burn them all down.
Wow, okay. It's got wild.
Yeah, so it looks like the alliance that prevailed last time was able to pick up more pieces, as you mentioned, those 3 people that voted for Georgiou last time, and they basically organized what was essentially a unanimous vote onto Raffi with some split votes onto Quark just in case an idol was played.
Quark is the kind of guy that he would be okay with being the decoy vote.
Do you think he'd volunteer to be the decoy vote?
He might.
I think if he was bribed with enough fire bars of latinum.
Yeah. Fire bars of platinum. So is this a voting blob situation at this point?
Yeah, yeah. This might be a little voting blob mass where we sort of have this like group of five that is sort of working together. The only alliance that's like really hardcore is our Starfleet's Angels, but they have a bunch of hangers on. And Waxana Troy, while Rafi wasn't necessarily on her side, I think she's losing numbers fast. She's going to have to mount a move right now, or she'll soon be joining Rafi here.
Yeah, she was doing so well. I don't know what happened here. She's got to get it together.
All right, well, let's head into our next episode here. Looks like same old here on the Roddenberry tribe. No major changes here. Looks like I would say Jet Reno might be one of the most well-positioned people within the sort of hustler majority, considering she's the only one that has that relationship with McCoy as well.
Yeah, she's underrated as a player for sure.
All right, let's move forward here as we go into our next reward challenge. All right, so we have another team challenge. I don't know if Quirk will throw away any other objects if he does indeed end up winning. Let's see who is going to prevail here. Looks like Girardi, Pike, Picard, Reno, and Giorgio will be enjoying a dozen of Riker pizzas.
More pizza.
Back at camp with extra bunnicorn. All right, we have officially broken our healer streak in Squatty Probst. Giorgio is able to stand in a squatted position for the most amount of time. You can imagine they do this for fun in the Mirror Universe. This is how they torture everybody. And so she easily wins this immunity challenge.
Do they really call this challenge Squatty Probst?
They did indeed. I remember we played a game on the B&B called Squatty Potty or Squatty Probst.
What is that a pun off of, Mike?
Squatty Potty.
Okay.
But it's not really a pun. It's just it begins with a P.
Yeah, it's a pun. It's not a very good one.
Okay. All right. There you go. Congratulations, Giorgio.
Yeah, not a great day from the Kierhofer naming devices, but they made an effort, I suppose. Let's see what happens on this tribe with Giorgio safe. Let's see if this continued supermajority is going to hold, or if some other events are going to throw things into flux. Pike and Giorgio bond strongly. That makes sense. It seems that when Giorgio came aboard in Disco Season 2, Pike seemed to be pretty amiable with her, Jess.
Yeah, he seems to be on board with whatever she's doing. And, I'm sure that he knew about her real universe counterpart from way back. So I think it makes sense. And she's very crafty. She understands that, he's got a lot of power, and they come from the same universe. They know a lot of the same people.
I would also say Pike's like a pretty big floater at this moment. And so I think he's just trying to find his mate. Like he has some bond with Loxana. He's trying to find a bond with Giorgio. I think he's just trying to get by in the game because he has a hell of a narrative if he gets to the end.
Yeah. It seems like that he is firmly with the Hustlers at this point.
And how does he not win a jury vote, though? He's Pike.
All right, that's the only event that happens. So once again, let's reanalyze this group that apparently seems to be in the power as we go into this tribal council. So again, we have our Starfleet's Angels in Girardi, Crusher, and Reno. It seemed like they were able to work with McCoy, Pike, and Picard to pick up this big majority. Jess, do you think we're just going to keep on keeping on? Has Loxana Troy finally met her maker here?
I really don't want it to happen. Like, I know DJ LaBelle Klein is out there writing anthems to his goddess Loxana, but it's really not looking good for her, is it?
Do you think he'd change it to DJ Pike Picard?
I think he'd go with something a little less obvious.
Yeah. I still feel like that Quark goes before Loxana Troy.
He did earn votes last time, so maybe he'd be easily expendable. I don't know. Maybe they feel like they just want to cut off as many options from Loxana as possible before they end up actually executing her. I'm not entirely sure. Anything's possible here in Star Trek. We also have two idols in the game as well. So let's see what happens as the votes come in. So once again, the Doctor and Jet both have idols. Looks like, Jet is not going to use her idol, but the first vote goes to her. And the Doctor gets the second vote. Oh, boy. Well, it could have been a good time to use those idols, people.
Oh, no.
That's
no.
2 votes for the Doctor, 1 vote for Reno.
This could be karma for when Bones played his idol on the Doctor, and the Doctor did not repay the favor.
Turnabout is fair trade. Pike, 2 votes Doctor, 1 vote Pike, 1 vote Reno, 2 votes Pike, 2 votes Doctor, 1 vote Reno, 3 votes Pike, 2 votes Doctor, 1 vote Reno. Pike, 4 votes Pike, 2 votes, 2 votes Doctor, 1 vote Reno. Wow. Christopher Pike, just as we spoke about his jury chances, just as he tried to float through the game, he's cut off the Premier Life, almost as if they were able to read his mind and manipulate his situation. So we would see completely different, big old blindside. And once again, a 3-way vote for the 3rd time in a row.
But Mike, for Pike, I don't think that he was floating through the game. I think that he ended up showing his cards too much. And he was, I think, clearly with the Hustlers, with Luoxana Troy and Quark. And then I think that the healer sussed it out and said, hey, he's not with us. He's not with the rest of the healers and Picard. And we got to get rid of this guy.
I could also imagine that, he did just win the last immunity challenge. They could say, well, if we're looking at that sort of alliance, he is the biggest threat to win challenges. So Pike was the lone vote towards Reno. Looks like Picard threw a vote onto the Doctor. Who else voted for the Doctor? I would imagine maybe Loxana or Quark. No, Giorgio voted for the Doctor here.
What's Picard doing?
I don't know. Picard might be the true free agent. He really seems to be working on his own. Everyone else, including Luoxana and Quark, were able to come together to vote out Pike. And just like that, only proper jest that Jean-Luc Picard is the last true blue hero left in the game.
It makes a lot of sense. But I just want to point out, like, I'm starting to become such a Loxana stan. She may be semi on the outs, but she's been on the right side of the voting just about every time, including this last time. So I think that bodes really well for her.
Yeah, I think she's the type of person, Rob, where like right now she's not making the decisions that she wants, but she's at least having people let her in on the plan, which I think speaks to her connections.
Yeah, she's like in the Michelle Fitzgerald Winners at War spot where she's like just ending up now on the right side of the numbers, but not really a part of the group that's making the decisions.
And I'm actually pretty sure after Odo got voted out, she did call everyone bumbling, fumbling fools. All right, let's move forward here. 9 people left. It's an odd number. Crazy things can happen. Let's see what goes on in the next episode.
2-part episode tonight.
2-part episode. Yeah, 2 hours. We're celebrating Terran Thanksgiving.
It's different from Terran Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That's just full of robots.
All right, looks like the idols are all set out. All right, alliances seem to be as per usual.
Very static.
And Luoxana Troy did lose Pike, so that is notable that even though she was able to get through the game, she did lose another close ally.
I want to see some new alliances form. Like, nobody's bonding. It's like Redemption Island up in here.
Yeah, it's I think I don't know. I think Jet Reno's doing the buddy system or the Bonesy system. All right.
Yes, so.
So Girardi is going to win the first individual reward of the season. She's going to share the reward with 3 other castaways, and she's going to choose 3 of her fellow healers, Beverly, Reno, and the Doctor. You can imagine, Rob, in season 35, this is when the infamous, short-lived but very pertinent quartet formed with Ben, Lauren, Devin, and Ashley. Could you imagine that Girardi won this just to like substantiate her alliance with the healers further?
Yeah, she's going to say, like, this is the final 4. You guys. Let's leave Bones out of this.
Yeah,
well, you always pick the Doctor to go on your rewards with you because he doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, an reward could also be an away team mission, so you don't want to bring the Doctor there, too.
Well, that's true.
Giorgio is going to win her 2nd immunity challenge in a row in Bermuda Triangles. These endurance challenges mean nothing to her. They do this for fun in the Mirror Universe.
Yeah,
so she is once
immunity
again
win,
safe.
right?
Yeah, 2 in a row.
And for Giorgio, again, I think it's also worth noting, kind of amazing that she's going to be here going into the final 8.
Yeah, I think she is sort of like an unstable agent that I think, if and when the healers break apart here, could be used very easily. All right, let's go into our tribe dynamics here. We've got our 2 idols as per usual. Good on Reno and the Doctor for having the instinct where, even though they knew votes might be coming for them, to sit on both of their idols. Now they're at the final 9 with an idol apiece. Let's see what's happening in the tribe. Beverly Crusher has a major meltdown. Do we think too many burgers at the reward, Jess?
Is she doing yoga?
It's pretty possible. Maybe like nobody wants to take any tap dancing lessons from her anymore.
Waxana and Quark find something in common. Now, Quark is the last ally that Waxana has formally, so I can imagine that this is sort of like I don't know, maybe they're taping targets onto themselves like Jervis and Colleen back during Survivor
Mhm.
Borneo.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about like, hey, I was on the Hustlers tribe to start the game. Like, oh, so I was on the Hustlers tribe to start the game.
Yeah, they're finally realizing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long road, to quote a very bad Enterprise theme song for Loxana and Quark, considering that they were on opposite sides and they came back together. Now they might be on the bottom
Yeah.
here.
Maybe for Quark, he's like, Loaxana, your voice sounds so familiar. I feel like I've heard it before,
Yeah,
different
li-
places.
yeah. Have you ever been on every starship ever? All right, let's move forward here. 9 votes tonight. I can imagine, Jess. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be like one of Loxana or Quark. Maybe Picard could be in there too.
Yeah, Picard really has been kind of playing a completely different game from everybody else. He would be an easy target, but it's also possible if they've got this pretty steady majority, it might be time to make a move on somebody who's a power player.
All
Hmm.
right. Well, we did see that happen at the final 9 in the actual Survivor 35. Let's see if fiction lives up to reality and see how the votes break
Yeah, I
down.
think Picard's lost a step. I think it's Picard.
I think Picard's sort of playing a Keith Nail game where like
Hmm.
he just sort of is not realizing what's going on. He's just thinking about the grapes.
Hmm.
The Tuk Tuks.
All right, let's see what happens here. Don't believe any idols are being played. First vote, Jet
Oh
Reno
no. Oh
playing with
no.
fire. Picard, 1 vote Picard,
Mm.
1 vote Reno. Reno, 2 votes Reno, 1 vote Picard. Picard tied 2-2. Picard, 3 votes Picard, 2 votes Reno. Reno,
Oh,
3
interesting.
votes Picard, 3 votes Reno, 3 votes left. Oh, that's a triple. My triple's going off. 4 votes Picard, 3 votes Reno, and looks like it was a little bit of a narrow margin, but by 6-3, Jean-Luc Picard has indeed met his end here on Survivor Star Trek, as has the original Heroes tribe. Went the way of the OG Beauty tribe, Rob.
Okay, but who are the other two people that voted with Picard at this vote? Is it Quark and
Probably
Troy?
Quark. Probably Quark. Yeah, Quark and Loxana, I would guess.
Let's
Okay.
see what happens here. Let's see how much the
Don't
healers
forget
really
about
stuck to.
Giorgio. That I believe she voted with Picard last time.
Oh, true.
Let's see. All right. Girardi voted for Picard. Crusher voted for Picard. Of course, Picard voted for Reno. Reno voted for Picard. Bones voted for Picard. Waxana voted for
Yep.
Reno. Giorgio
Yeah.
voted for
Oh, very
Picard. And
smart. Yeah.
Quark voted for Reno. So really, Waxana and Quark just trying to grasp at straws here, trying to find anything to get them through. And they have to look for any sort of conduit that might get them to the next round. And unfortunately, that meant expending Jean-Luc Picard, who goes to join the jury.
Yeah. Maybe Giorgio was the Ben Drebergen double agent here, leaving
Mm.
Lawaxana and Quark as the Chrissy and Ryan on the outs.
Yeah, I mean, she does have, that Section 31 experience of espionage, so I think she's the most well equipped for it. Here we are, the final 8, 5 healers, 3 hustlers. And I mean, it looks like the healers have this on lock. Though
Yeah.
again, this is brand steel; anything can happen.
Boy, this is really the bizarro mirror universe version of Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, where instead of getting picked off at the merge, the healers end up going on to pagong the rest of the tribes.
It's a little ridiculous, but again, these are some of the most well-equipped, smartest people in Starfleet, so we should have known. Let's see how the part 2 of our Terran Thanksgiving episode progresses. All right, so it looks like pretty much everything is stuck together. Loxana and Quark are just on a entirely different Class M planet on their own, just scrounging for scraps at this point. Let's see if they can squeak by, and if they can't, who is going to go over who? Looks like we have a reward challenge going on here, another group 1, 4v4, and it looks like Girardi, Reno, McCoy, and Giorgio are going to a spa. I can imagine Bones would love that.
Damn it, Mike. I'm a doctor, not a masseuse.
Like that they're putting him in all these jobs that he has to work on the rewards. I also believe that Agnes Girardi might have won every single reward challenge.
Good for her.
Is McCoy the Debbie Wanner of this group?
Because he has so many jobs.
Yeah.
Though
Yes.
he doesn't want them.
Yes. And a very fancy one-piece bathing suit.
Yes, exactly. So it looks like the doctor wins the challenge. This makes sense. This is the one where they had to make their way to the end and spell the word invulnerable. And I think only a hologram would be able to get that word to spell out.
Yep, he would definitely have the U going the right way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see what happens at camp. The doctor is doubly safe. Maybe he'll do something fun with this idol. Who's to say? But meanwhile, at camp, Quark and the doctor on slightly.
Interesting.
Quark's doing everything he can to keep himself in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I could, and I believe that Quark had some other bonds as well. I could see him trying to throw Loxana under the bus here. Maybe the doctor plays his idol on Quark, just in case if he has other plans for him. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm starting to see some winner potential for the doctor here.
Yeah. First, tribal council that Giorgio is not immune from the vote, although she did vote with the heroes. I'm sorry, the healers, I should say. I'm like Jamal. I'm all tongue-tied from HHH. But she did vote with them, but she is vulnerable at this tribal council.
Yeah, so let's see. This might be a time to finally get rid of her now that she is not invulnerable for the vote. Let's see what happens. So we have our two idols. First vote. Oh, Jet Reno, after getting votes the previous two tribal councils, finally takes the hint and uses the idol on herself.
I'd be surprised if Reno was going to get the majority of votes. This seems like to me, just in the first guess, like a wasted idol.
Well, let's remember in Triple H that Ben was able to get Ryan to waste his idol. I could see maybe a similar thing of like, I don't know, somebody trying to go, maybe it was the doctor, once again, trying to goad someone to use their idol, saying like, oh, you might be in trouble, Reno. I think you should use your idol just in case. First vote, Beverly Crusher. Giorgio. 2 votes, Giorgio. 1 vote, Beverly Crusher. That's 3 votes, Giorgio. 1 vote, Crusher. This is not looking good for Giorgio. Beverly Crusher. That we have 3 votes, Giorgio. 2 votes, Crusher. Giorgio. 4 votes, Giorgio. 2 votes, Crusher. And that is all she wrote for Philippa Giorgio by a 6-2 vote. Jet Reno wastes her idol completely. And Giorgio finally meets the end, much like her Prime Universe counterpart did.
Wow. The 2 votes for Crusher, ironically, was Giorgio, and it was McCoy.
Do you think Bones threw out a hinky vote here to try to blame it on someone?
I don't know.
That seems about right. Or maybe he's just so far out of the loop that he assumed that was going to be the vote. Like maybe there was just too much talk that somebody was going to make a power move, and he stepped in to try to defend Reno by casting a vote for Crusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see a situation where like Giorgio finally decides like she knows that she's on the chopping block. So sort of like Jenna Louise in Australian Survivor, she like makes her move by just flat out calling out, "This is the trio that's in charge. I'm going to throw a vote for Crusher. Anybody hop on with me?" And McCoy sort of took the bait.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked much about Crusher's game.
Yeah, it's a little tough to separate it from, she's in this trio with Girardi and Reno, and, Reno's been finding the idols. Girardi's been winning the rewards, but I don't exactly know where Crusher is in all this.
Crusher bonds slightly with lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. She's got that social game.
Yeah. And somehow Loxana, Troy, and Quark are both still here at the final 7.
They made the loved ones visit.
Yeah, and McCoy now voted against the same way that the rest of the healers did. Could he potentially be somebody to link up with Loxana and Quark? And then they would only need one other person. Quark just bonded with the Doctor, who has the other idol in the game. So maybe there's a glimmer that this big group is going to break up.
All right. Well,
if I'm the Doctor, this is attractive because I can get all of my former alliance onto the jury, and then I can go to the finals with some of that group.
Yeah, but you have
it's
to
not
betray
a bad
them.
play. You do have to betray them, but they'll have time to get over it.
Okay.
So we're at the final 7 here. We've got Agnes Girardi, Beverly Crusher, Jet Reno, Dr. McCoy, Loxana Troy, Quark, and the Doctor. Only a few votes left until we see who wins the 1,000,000 bars of Gold Press Latinum. Let's see how it goes here.
But I believe this is going to be our loved ones visit, Mike,
Yeah.
coming up. Our black and white rock challenge.
Oh boy, yes. I cannot imagine how they do something. I mean, listen, they're not going to be playing 3D chess or even
Yes.
Domjot.
Yes, well, I believe that they're the aliens that live on the planet where half their face is black and half their face is white. Come in.
What, you pull them out.
And then the other ones come in with the white and black on the other side of their face, and then you pick which one that you have the match with your loved one.
Exactly. So, so the Doctor has an idol. That's good on the Doctor. He has been sitting on that idol. I believe he was one of the first to find an idol, and he's been sitting on that for, I'd say, a good 8 or 9 episodes at this point.
Just also take a look at how loyal Loxana Troy and Quark are to one another. A level 8 alliance, the tightest alliance in the game.
Yeah, they have really sought solace in one another, which, again, no one would have expected. But I think, desperation makes strange bedfellows of us all.
Okay.
Yep. So we need to talk about like who people brought for their loved ones.
Oh, absolutely. So, I believe that obviously Loxana Troy, you think she'd bring Deanna, right?
She'd either bring Deanna or she'd bring her giant manservant.
Oh yeah, Mr. Hom.
Yeah. I want it to be Mr. Hom.
Quark, you think Quark would bring Rom, or would he try to bring the Grand Nagus to try to appeal to him to become Grand Nagus himself?
He could bring his mom.
He could bring his mom, Andrea Martin. He did come around on her. Who's McCoy going to bring? The dad that he euthanized?
He might bring Spock.
Yeah. Spock's not in the game.
Yeah. I could see Jeff Probst being like, your greatest adversary and your best friend. Come on out, Spock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or Nurse Chapel.
And they definitely get like the highlights, right? Like they're sort of like the Colby and Reed of this loved ones challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Like you could see them yelling at each other, like screwing up a challenge.
Damn it, Spock.
Yeah. Although
it would be extra weird if Nurse Chapel was McCoy's loved one.
Because they could really throw him off by just having Loxana Troy come to visit him.
Let's see. Who would, I guess Agnes would have Rios, I would imagine, considering their like newfound love.
Yep.
Beverly would be Wesley, and I'm sure Jeff Probst would be like, so the great thing about having a son is that your husband's dead.
No, that he would ask him like, look at that hug. That looks like you guys have a real special bond. And then like Wesley would go into, well, my dad died when, he was in Starfleet when I was young. And then
really Jeff goes, shut up, Wesley. Okay. And then who do you think Jet Reno is going to bring? Maybe would Jet Reno bring, I don't know, Stamets just for fun?
Yeah, that could be fun. And then they could just go off again like, oh yeah, just because we're repping the LGBT community, that doesn't mean we have everything in common. And then they like start yelling at production, like, why didn't you bring me a real loved one?
Yeah. Did we say the Doctor also who his loved one is?
Oh yeah, I guess it would be, what was the name of his first nurse? I can't remember now. Or did he fall in love with a hologram too?
Well, he had a pretty tight bond with Seven. He could just bring Seven.
Oh, 7. Yeah, 7 of 9 would be a good one.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens at the loved one's visit. Oh, the Doctor wins.
The Doctor and 7 of 9 apparently are on the same page.
Okay.
And it looks like he gets to bring 3 people with him. He chooses McCoy and Spock, Girardi and Rios, and Loxana Troy and Mr. Hom for a nice old barbecue. What a crew to go with.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Hom will do all the barbecuing.
Yeah.
And Rios and the Doctor will be talking. Rios would be like, can you believe everybody thought it was a hologram?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I could imagine, I don't know what Spock would be doing, actually. I think he'd just find the entire thing fascinating. I think he'd find the entire process fascinating.
I find the entire process fascinating.
And Quark, I think, is probably annoyed after he bonded slightly with the Doctor just now and didn't get picked for the family visit.
Yeah, plus his partner in crime, Loxana Troy, got to go and he didn't. Like, that probably makes him feel a little in danger.
Okay. All right. Post-reward challenge. We get our immunity.
Our immunity challenge. We're back to endurance challenges, and Jet Reno is going to, she's fueled by not seeing Stamets, but she's going to pull through and win this immunity challenge. So Jet Reno, though she wasted her idol, guaranteed to see the final 6 here in Survivor Star Trek. All right, so the Doctor has the only idol left, only a few rounds left to use it. Let's see if he'll be able to make advantage of it. McCoy is impressing the rest of the tribe. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Jet Reno has left Starfleet's
Oh
Angels.
no.
She had immunity. She's feeling too confident, getting cocky.
Yeah, I
Well,
wonder.
she could pull McCoy and flip. This is
Hmm.
a good time to do it.
I wonder if she didn't tell the other two about her idol. And so when she played at last tribal council, it
Uh,
got them very unnerved with her. And so she decided to leave the alliance.
Yep, that would make sense.
And I mean,
Okay.
she's safe. She's protected from it immediately. Okay, let's look at the situation. So it's been pretty straightforward from here on out. We have the pairing of Loxana and Quark. Puzzle this out for me, Jess. Is it going to be Loxana? Is it going to be Quark? Or is it going to be one of the other four?
Here's what I want to see happen. I want Reno and Bones to team up with Loxana and Quark and take out one of the other three.
Mm-hmm. Rob, do you think that's possible at all?
Boy, you got to see these healers split up at some point. I mean, there's 5 of them here at the final 7, and if you vote out Loxana and Quark right now, then you are throwing away a golden opportunity to be able to take control of the rest of the group.
Yeah, we'll see who gets left behind here. If indeed the heroes do stick together, you would say that Starfleet's Angels has the final 3 on lock, but Jet Reno made that maybe not a possibility. Of course, we have an idol in the mix as well. So let's see what happens here at our final 7. The Doctor is not going to use his idol, and he gets the first vote. Wow. Second vote goes to the Doctor.
Oh boy.
Third vote goes to the Doctor. Beverly Crusher. 2 votes Beverly, 3 votes Doctor. We're tied. 3 votes Beverly, 3 votes Doctor. 1 vote left. Wow. Beverly Crusher gets voted out.
Who's the
4
4?
votes to 3. What the hell happened here? It took until the final 7, but this post-merge just got cracked wide open, Jess.
I hope it's what I just said happened because I like being right.
I'm just so surprised that this pairing of Quark and Loxana, Rob, growing stronger by the day, completely ignored in this round.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, this was the Starfleet Doctor Civil War.
Yeah, exactly. You had to choose a side of the sick bay. And it looks like Beverly Crusher falls here as Starfleet's Angels completely disintegrates
Yeah.
over the course of an episode.
Well, you wonder if Girardi was really impressed with going on the family reward.
True, and sides with the Doctor, maybe.
Mhm.
Let's see how things broke down. Girardi did indeed vote for Crusher.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crusher voted for the Doctor. Reno voted for Crusher.
Yeah, it looks like it was Girardi and Reno that flipped with McCoy.
Oh, with McCoy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, so interesting. So it looks like, I think what happened was Beverly Crusher wanted to mount an insurrection on the Doctor. She said, you know what, the Doctor had won this reward, didn't take, he took me on it, but I'm going to stab him in the back. I'm going to get the swing votes. I'm going to grab Loxana, Troy, and Quark. They said, great, as long as it's not us, let's vote for the Doctor. But once Girardi got wind of that, she began to gather Jet Reno, she began to gather Bones, she began to gather the Doctor, and they turned the tables on Beverly Crusher right after she saw her son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe that's a bridge too far for the other Starfleet medical personnel to work with the unsavory Loxana Troy and Quark. And once Crusher broke the Prime Directive and started to work with the enemy, maybe they felt like, okay, she's not one of us anymore.
Yeah, it is really interesting, Jess, from that perspective that like Loxana and Quark are the only non-Starfleets left. They're sort of like the Maquis in this instance, and that they're just like fringe rebels. And so anyone who wants to consort with them might be primed for elimination.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like this is such a compelling narrative. This is better than half the real the Survivor seasons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we are at the final 6 after Beverly Crusher's stunning blindside. The game is cracked open here. Even though Loxana and Quark were in the minority here, I mean, we just broke up arguably one of the strongest alliances in the game up to this point. So we'll see what happens. It's our last episode before the finale at the final 6. Let's go.
Yeah. Don't forget that in this season, the players do not know about the Final Four fire making challenge. If they did, I feel like that the four healers, I think, would say, hey, let's just get to the fire making and then figure it out from there. But we'll have to see if anybody wants to jump ship a la Beverly Crusher and try to work with the two unsavory characters left.
Exactly. They're on a ship, and these two are like on a little dinghy runabout that's like trying to catch up to the ship, and they've been trying to do that this entire time, and they've been somehow surviving. But we'll see if that runs out anytime soon. So the Doctor still has been able to hold on to his idol. He's running out of time to use it. We have, of course, Reno and McCoy are still working together, and Troy and Quark. Those are the only two alliances formally that we have so far. So, and it's getting stronger by the day. So we have the castaways pairing up here. It is the Quark and the Doctor versus Reno and Troy versus Girardi and Bones. Let's see who ends up winning here. Quark and the Doctor end up winning reward, and surprise, surprise, guess who's going on a reward? Agnes Girardi. Really, Agnes Girardi, you can't spell Girardi without JT, because I feel like she's going on every reward here.
Okay. I wonder how much is Quark going to try to push them in the real Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. This was big when it was, I believe, was it Chrissy and Devin picked Ryan? Do I have that right?
And that's when Ryan and Chrissy, they not only made their final 3 deal, but they also decided to make the move on Ashley.
Okay. All right.
So they have an overnight stay. I can only imagine what the conversation is like between the 3 of them. But they're able to have a feast, maybe consort a bit as we get to our next immunity challenge. Loxana Troy, in a moment when she probably really needed it, was able to pull through, put the cogs in the right place, hoist her flag, and win immunity here. Jess, Loxana Troy guaranteed to make the finale of Survivor Star Trek.
I stan a Betazoid legend.
And she's been the alpha, not the Betazoid, this entire time. All right.
Alpha is a different show, Mike.
All right, let's see what happens here on the tribe. As the numbers get smaller, each vote gets more and more meaningful. Reno and Quirk bond slightly, has a lasting impact. And
boy.
McCoy has a major meltdown. What do you think that is, Jess? Do you think he's just getting tired of having jobs thrust upon him?
I think he's peanut butter and jealous.
Well, they had that a while ago, but maybe it's come back.
Yeah, but Reno had been his alliance partner throughout this entire game. Now, all of a sudden, Jet Reno is hanging out with Quark, and McCoy does not like it.
He's the enemy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody's had this take before, but I think Dr. McCoy might be a little bit he likes people, humans. He's always been getting on Spock for being a Vulcan. He wants to hang out with Jet Reno. Now Jet Reno's hanging out with a Ferengi. I don't think he likes that.
Yeah, I can imagine that maybe those biases are showing a bit. And to that point, I believe if you scroll down a bit, I think we might see the breakup of this alliance. Yeah, Reno's getting tired of Bones and leaves. But wait a minute. Could there be another alliance here forming? Looks like Jet Reno, Bones, Troy, and the Doctor are forming an alliance. Troy keeping Quark out of this alliance, and it appears that Agnes Girardi has found herself on the outside as well, of all people.
Yeah, but Reno left the alliance, and then I don't get it. She broke up with McCoy.
She left the one-on-one alliance, and then I think that maybe that it was like Bones was like, damn it, Reno, it's either that Ferengi bastard or me. And she said, fine, I choose you. And then they pieced together this other group with Troy and the Doctor.
I can imagine it could also maybe be a thing where like her leaving the alliance was not a vocal, prominent thing. Maybe it's like, she suggested to Bones, hey, let's work with Loxana and the Doctor. They agreed to do it. And then secretly in her head, she's like, if I had my final 3, it would be me, Loxana, and the Doctor. Like she's excluding Bones in her mind, even if he doesn't realize it.
But why would you take Loxana to the finals over Bones, who hasn't done anything?
She could say that like Loxana was left out of all of these votes. I had the more strategic prowess. Look what I was able to do.
I mean, I think at this point, Reno beats everybody. in a final three, but I would like her chances much better if she brought Bones with her.
Well, let's see if this alliance prevails as well. This is an alliance of four. We'll see maybe one of Quark or Girardi is in trouble, but we also know that Quark has been working with Loxana. So all of a sudden, Starfleet's Angels might be going one after the other out the door here.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right, let's see here. The Doctor still
Final
has
six
the
tribal.
idol. The Doctor is
Yes.
finally going to use the idol. He finally feels in danger. Let's see if it was worth it. First vote, McCoy. Quark. Girardi. We've got one vote Girardi, one vote Quark, one vote McCoy. Quark. That's two votes Quark, one vote Girardi, one vote McCoy. McCoy, we're tied. Two votes Quark, two votes Girardi, one vote. Two votes McCoy, two votes Quark, one vote Girardi, one vote left. Wow, another 3-2-1. In the new alliance he was in, Bones has finally turned to Bones. And he has been sent to the jury here in 6th place. What happened here?
In the end, Reno and Bones did vote together. They were the 2 votes for Quark, but it looks like that everybody seemed to have been lulled into a false sense of security by Loaxana and Quark, who led the charge against McCoy with the 3-2-1 vote split.
Wow. So this is all Loaxana and Troy. They were Loaxana and Quark. They were able to, they had Loaxana had this alliance with McCoy and with Reno. Maybe they were suggesting like a 2-2-2 split, perhaps on Girardi and Quark, just in case Quark had an idol. But they decided to take advantage of it. Went to Girardi, said like, "Hey, there are votes coming your way. Let's flip the votes on McCoy." And as a result, McCoy ends up going out here, surprisingly so.
McCoy is going to be very salty in his exit interviews.
Oh my God, he's going to be such a bitter juror.
I can't wait to see his jury speech.
All right, finale night.
Finale night. So let's break down these games here. So Agnes Girardi, pretty quiet game, but she's been able to skate by. She's a little bit of like a reward beast, and you can imagine that there's some social capital tied into there.
Yeah.
Jet Reno has been in a pretty powerful position, playing an idol, jumping over on her alliance, but she was just left out of the vote. Loaxana, Troy, and Quark have been a power couple this entire time, but really on the back foot for the entirety of the post-merge. We're finally able to get in the majority on this one. And finally, the Doctor, who just used an idol and is in a fairly comfortable position, but is vulnerable for the first time in like 10 episodes, maybe. There's one opportunity left to find and play an idol. Let's see if somebody takes it. One of these people is going to win Survivor Star Trek, guys.
Wow. Okay.
It's amazing. My 2 favorites have hung in the entire time.
And it looks like the Loaxana and Quark are still, they're still strong as ever.
They're getting tighter. They're at a 9 strength.
And it looks
Warp
like
9 strength.
Despite Loaxana turning the tables on Reno and the Doctor, it looks like she's still in an alliance with them. Maybe she was trying to pull a Natalie Anderson and be like, I thought we were supposed to write down McCoy's name, but they still want to work with her in the moment. I guess, any port in a storm here, any station in a storm.
Yeah. Loaxana Troy has had alliance after alliance after alliance, has had all of her allies go out throughout the game, and she is still doing it here at the final 5 with alliances with 3 out of the 4 other players.
Yeah, you'd imagine, Jess, that it's easily, if Girardi doesn't win immunity, Loaxana's turning the vote on her, right?
Yeah, she has to. Like, I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward vote coming up.
All right, let's go to our immunity challenge here. Jet Reno wins immunity, going to the final 4. She can also choose to share a reward with 2 other people. She chooses her allies, of course, Loaxana and Doctor. They're going to have a nice feast of comfort food at camp, or for the Doctor, just watching and having pleasant conversation.
It's got a lot of rewards. Okay. All right.
So we do have an idol hidden here. It doesn't look like anyone has found it, though. So we're going to get a nice pure round of Survivor. Reno and Loaxana have a minor disagreement. Jess, could something have come up? A kerfuffle at the comfort food reward?
A little trouble in paradise.
Yeah. I wonder if it's about who are we voting out? I think that I would imagine that Luoxana is saying like, okay, this is the vote for Girardi, and Reno is like, well, maybe not so fast. Shouldn't we get rid of
Yeah,
Quark?
exactly. It's sort of them going to bat for their either former number ones or current number ones.
I mean, we're
So
still the final three. What does it matter?
yeah, exactly. But let's see what happens here as we go into our final 5 votes. So what do you think, Jess? Rob sort of outlined here. Do you think it's either Girardi or Quark?
I think it has to be. I don't see a power move happening right now.
All right, let's see at the final 5 who's going to place fifth. Who
Yeah.
is Jeff Probst going to bring out onto the stage?
And
to
I
greet
wonder
the
if there's
fanfare?
any hard feelings with Girardi being the person that turned on McCoy as well.
All right, let's take a look at the votes. First vote, Luoxana.
What?
Second vote,
Oh, yep.
Girardi.
Okay. That makes sense.
Girardi. That's 2 votes Girardi, 1 vote Luoxana. That's it. Girardi, by unanimous vote, ends up going here. You'd have to imagine why, oh, why did Reno and the Doctor make the move to get rid of Girardi when you are facing a tight pair in the final 4?
Maybe it wasn't their decision. I guess they could have voted with Girardi and then gone against Reno and the Doctor.
I mean, maybe, but I think they're kind of all banking on, like, maybe they were going to force fire making anyway.
So it would have been a 2-2 tie no matter what. But yeah, it looks like they finally decided to get rid of Girardi. Maybe Luoxana was able to convince them that, she had won all these rewards. She was a big social threat. Like, you already got rid of Beverly. Let's just, clean sweep, get rid of Girardi as well. Maybe they're able to convince Reno of like, hey, Girardi on the jury would be good for you. You can't spell jury without Girardi. And here we go. Our final 4, Jet Reno, Luoxana Troy, Quark, and the Doctor. 2 healers, 2 hustlers. Let's see how things go here. You'd have to imagine that if one of Luoxana or Quark wins immunity here, they're going to take the other one, right?
You have to imagine.
Most tight alliance in the game, Troy and
Yep.
Quark.
Although I see that Troy dropped down to an 8 and Quark dropped up to a 9.
Okay.
Well, Luoxana is working with other people. Quark does
That's
not have
true.
any other outs.
That's true. I think Quark has got to be like a very attractive jury goat at this point.
And you know what they say, Ferengi, one of the most loyal races of people in the galaxy.
Oh, absolutely.
That's one of the rules of acquisition, I think.
All right, Jet Reno wins the final immunity. They said that actually Quark was out in the lead, but he accidentally turned his T upside down in Trek, and so Jeff had to disqualify him. Jet
Yes.
Reno.
There's no upside down N in Reno. There
Yeah,
is in
exactly.
Quark.
Jet Reno wins final immunity here. She gets the right to choose one person to go with her to the final 3, and the other 2 will face off in a fire making contest. Good on Jet Reno. She had a nice push here in the late post merge, Jess.
She's amazing. I'm really excited about my preseason winner pick. I think she's got a really solid shot at winning it all.
Jess, you're going to be very conflicted here potentially in the final 3.
Yeah, it's really hard for me because I would want to see Luoxana win or Jet Reno win. And I really feel like Reno has to keep Luoxana out of the finals to really clinch it.
Yeah, boy. Twitter will not like it if our 2 strong female castaways end up splitting the jury votes with Quark or the Doctor squeaking out the win.
Yeah, they would not be very happy at all. I think then they would definitely call for, I don't know, no more Ferengis on Survivor season or holograms.
McCoy would get on board with that. Okay. All right.
Let's go to camp here. Let's see what's going on. Nothing occurred.
Nothing.
Okay, so are we assuming that Reno is going to take the Doctor with her, or could Reno does have an alliance with Luoxana? Is there a chance that she takes her with her?
She can't take Luoxana because Luoxana could win it if she does. She's got to take the Doctor and she's got to send Quark and Luoxana to fire making.
Can I say, I guess so. Who has the better chance of beating Luoxana in the fire making? Wouldn't you think that the Doctor does? I mean, do you take Quark to the final 2?
I think that's the move. I think if Jess brought up, if indeed Quark is the biggest
Or the
goat
final
left
3?
here at the final 4, I think that you easily take him. You make
He's
him
won
even
nothing.
more. Yeah, you make him even more sheepish, and then put you make sure you get rid of Luxana by putting it against the guy who probably has an encyclopedic memory of how to make fire in about 50 different planets.
It's a good point. The other thought is maybe you do take Loxana because when you take your biggest threat to the finals, that kind of neutralizes them a little bit.
Hmm.
All right. Well, then I don't know. Then Loxana could do the whole Tommy Sheehan and said like my biggest move was to convince Jet Reno to take me to the final three.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. All right. Reno votes to give immunity to go. She takes the Doctor to the final.
Okay.
Okay.
So finally, our dream team, our tight pairing of Loxana and Quark is finally going to be broken up here in a fire-making challenge. The winner and guarantee spot in the final three is Loxana Troy.
Oh boy.
It's the end of the line for Quark, our fallen Ferengi angel. He gets eliminated here, meaning our final three is Jet Reno, the Doctor, and Loxana Troy.
Yeah. I think that Reno deserves to lose to Loxana. I think she ended up screwing up this decision.
Yeah, I think she blew it.
You never know in Brand Steel, though. Anything is fair game here. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Poor Quark ends up, hanging up his very fanciful robes that are probably very dirty right now. So here's our jury. We have Agnes Girardi, Beverly Crusher, Pike, Picard, McCoy, Giorgio, Quark, and Raffi. And our finalists, Reno, Troy, and the Doctor. Rob, we don't need to do jury jeopardy right now, but who do you think is the odds-on favorite to win this?
I wonder if the jury is going to see Loxana Troy's game from the same perspective that we did. I wonder if a lot of the people that played on the starting tribe with Jet Reno and the Doctor might be more favorable to them, like Dr. Crusher and Girardi and McCoy. Quark is a sure vote for Loxana Troy. But I wonder then, I guess the wild cards would be, I think for me, Picard, Pike, Giorgio, and Raffi.
Jess, break this jury down for me. Who do you think is going to vote where?
I think Girardi, Crusher, and McCoy are solid Reno votes. I think Pike and Quark will vote for Troy, and I think the other three are
Pike
up in the
was
air.
a Troy stan.
Yeah, he was. He
well,
was.
and we have a Troy stand in the final three as well. Your prophecy came true.
Yes.
Yep. I think it all depends on the performance they put in, because I think the Doctor could be a dark horse to win it. He did carry that idol that whole way, and he's played a really solid game. It just depends on how well he's able to own it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the Doctor has a very good chance at taking this because he's someone who was very rarely in the minority. He was someone who, I guess the closest he came to going was at that Crusher vote at the final seven, but he still had an idol the entire time. He seemed like someone who was pretty comfortable in this game. So I think he has that going for him. And I can imagine that he's turning upon some of the biggest speech writers in universe history to pen the greatest jury speech that the game has ever seen. That's going to take home the prize here.
It's a good point, and I think people might yell at Jet Reno for having only ever been in 5 episodes of Star Trek total.
Right, exactly. Some of these people that have been in multiple franchises are like, "Do you even Star Trek, bro?"
Yeah, I mean, to that point, Loxana Troy has been in 2 franchises. The Doctor made a guest appearance in another franchise. So it's very possible that they want someone to represent Star Trek as a whole.
All right. Well, let's see what happens here.
Yeah. I just want to add, I think that Picard and Raffi are the biggest wild cards on this jury.
Makes sense given the plot of Star Trek Picard, that of course there's sort of rogue elements here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see.
All right, so we flash over to San Francisco, where the live reunion is taking place. Jet Reno, Loxana Troy, and the Doctor are dressed up in their finest. The Doctor's probably just wearing the same uniform as he always wears to
dress uniform.
Exactly, to wait for the winner to be revealed. And of course, Loxana Troy is like decked out to the nines, even if she doesn't win.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jet Reno is in a really, really kicking pantsuit.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what happens here. So we're counting 8 votes. First vote goes to the Doctor. Second vote, Loxana Troy. That's one vote, Loxana Troy. One vote for the doctor. Jet Reno. We
Oh,
are
okay.
tied. One vote
Everyone got
Reno.
votes.
One vote Loxana. One vote doctor. Loxana Troy. That is 2 votes Loxana Troy. One vote Reno. One vote doctor. The doctor. 2 votes doctor. 2 votes Loxana. One vote Reno. 3 votes left. Reno, we are tied. 2 votes Reno. 2 votes the doctor. 2 votes Loxana. 2 votes left. The doctor. 3 votes the doctor. 2 votes Reno. 1 vote Loxana, or 2 votes Loxana. So here's what happens. If the next vote is either for Reno or Loxana, we'll have a tie, 3-3-2, in which case the third place person, which is either Reno or Loxana, will cast the decision vote. If not, if the doctor gets the vote, he wins 4-2-2. Jet Reno. We are tied. 3 votes for the doctor, 3 votes for Jet Reno, 2 votes for Loxana Troy. It all comes down to Loxana Troy here. She is going to be the queen or kingmaker. You have to imagine that she is loving the limelight right now, Rob.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Laurel necessarily loved being in this position, but
Yeah, but Loxana Troy absolutely did.
I mean, I think she would love winning more. She's the Rob goddess of the season, certainly. But she will cast a vote for the winner. Jess, do you feel like that she had any strong affinity to either of these two people?
It felt to me like she had a stronger bond with Reno, but she could also be mad at Reno. We'll just have to see what happens. I think she may respect Reno for. She's either going to respect Reno for the game she played, or she's going to be mad at her for making her win her spot in the fire making.
All right, let's see. Loxana's vote, and the winner of Survivor Star Trek is the Doctor.
Oh!
Yeah, I think it all came down to Jet Reno blew it. She took the doctor to the final 3. Should have taken Quark, sent the doctor into the fire making with Loxana Troy. I think that was probably the better way to go.
Yeah, I think Jet Reno had a super strong turn at the end there, but I think when it came down to like making important decisions between like wasting her idol, getting left in the minority at the final 6, and then making this decision, she had, a lot of sizzle, but not a lot of steak there, or I guess replicated steak. Let's see how the votes broke down, because I'm very intrigued to see what this original vote was.
Okay, let's see. 3-3-2 it was. You got to think that the 2 Loxana votes were Quark and was it Pike or
Pike?
Giorgio?
Yeah, Quark and Pike.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So Girardi voted for the Doctor. Interesting. She did not support her former Starfleet's Angels. Neither did Crusher. Crusher voted for Loxana.
Interesting.
Acknowledged her game. Pike voted for Reno, so she did not vote for Loxana. Picard voted for Loxana. Wow.
Oh, wow. Quark didn't even vote for Loxana?
Even if the Jean-Luc Picard could see this simulation now, he would roll over in his android body. McCoy voted for the Doctor. Georgiou voted for the Doctor. Quark voted for
That's
Reno.
a shock.
And Raffi voted for Reno.
Wow.
You think Quark was bitter that it was him sitting at the end? Her sitting
Why
at
would
the
he
end
be
and not
bitter?
him?
Why would that he didn't? Loxana Troy voted with him the whole game.
It could be. I mean, he also got voted out the day before. His head could still be in the game. That he doesn't necessarily been able to pull his big ears out of game mode. But
yeah, I
very
wonder
surprising vote
if
spread.
Jet Reno, when she's like, Quark, you're the biggest threat. I can't beat you. That's why I have to send you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, she knew, she knew everything.
Yeah, she knew I had this game on lock if I made it to the final 3.
Yeah, respect vote.
Wow. Well, and Jet Reno wins the fan favorite award. She gets the Sia money. Makes a
Wow.
lot of sense.
Wow, Loxana Troy really got hosed.
Yeah, she gets the third place money and no Sia money.
Wow.
Yeah, but she's a lock to get asked back.
Mm-hmm.
A Loxana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations to the Doctor. Job well done.
The Doctor played a seriously good game. He never really was in danger outside of that 4-3 vote, but he was able to take advantage of that healer, majority at the jury stage, was able to ride that for quite some time. And then when he was in danger, he promptly ditched it and was able to take advantage of his relationship with Jet Reno to get to the end. What an interesting game. I cannot believe, a short time ago we had Kirk quit the game
Hmm.
during the hero genocide of Star Trek, basically treating the heroes like the Romulans back in the day. Here we are at the end of it all. I think it's only fitting for Star Trek, Survivor Star Trek, for a hologram of a medical officer to win the game, Jess.
Yep.
Yep, that's appropriate.
Yep.
And it's always like, if you look at any given cast that you put into a Brant Steele, pick the most random person and they're going to win. In fact, you and I were talking about this when we were casting it, and we were talking about who would make a good healer. And I said, I could make an outside case for other Dax, but then you know that Esri Dax ends up winning the whole thing in a Michelle Fitzgerald under the radar style game, angering the fans forever. And there's really nobody but me that wants to see that happen.
All right, so let's look at just a quick look at challenge wins. Jet Reno was the big immunity challenge beast, winning 3 immunities right there at the end. As we put it out, Agnes Girardi won 4 reward challenges, and I'm pretty sure she got asked on the ones that she was not a part of. Rafi was holding our True Dark Times record for most votes against. I'm pretty sure she got a vote against her like at nearly every tribal council she attended. A surprisingly light idol season, though I know what Roddenberry feels about religion, and it makes sense that he would not have idolatry in there. But once again, congratulations to the Doctor for a job well done. Congratulations to this entire cast. And most importantly, congratulations to you, Jess, and you, Rob, for helping make sense of all of this nonsense.
Yes,
as we
congratulations to us.
Most importantly, big old pats on the back, respectively. We did it. We got through the first ever Star Trek simulation. Jess, we've been talking about this for a while. Did it meet your expectations?
It exceeded them in every possible way.
Amazing. So it's going to move on to the next phase of Starfleet Academy then.
Yes, it definitely. I can't wait to join you next year for Star Trek Survivor 2, Revenge of Loxana.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, I was going to propose maybe now that we have our inaugural first Star Trek winner, that maybe we could start to at least plan out what the future season of Star Trek Winners at Wharf.
That is most honorable choice, Rob.
Yes.
Then they're all going to raise a glass of prune juice at the beginning and throw the glass over their shoulder.
Yes.
It's a warrior's drink.
Yes.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on for, 2+ hours to talk through all of this. I think everyone knows what you're doing in the pod sphere at the moment, but if you want to go around the horn and just quickly plug what other projects you're working on, Jess, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we'll start with me, and then I can sign off early, and then Rob can talk for the next 2 hours about all the stuff he
I need
does.
to plug all of my podcasts, please.
Yes, every single one of them. I am covering Killing Eve with Josh Wigler over on Post Show Recaps, and we are on episode 2 this week. It is very, very fun, and I will be very excited if all of you will come and join me for that.
And Rob, obviously you have a lot to working on. You want to give us like the yada yada elevator pitch that can fit the length of a prologue to a Star Trek episode?
Yeah, if you like Survivor podcasts, come check out Rob Has a Podcast. It's at robhasawebsite.com.
And I will also plug, if you're looking for some more space-time Survivor shenanigans, there might be some more stuff coming your way in the next couple months or so. You can follow me at a Mike Bloom type. You can check out Down the Hatch, our Lost Rewatch podcast that I'm doing with Josh Wigler, as well as I did a Schitt's Creek podcast with Shannon Gus. That was a series overview that was a lot of fun, a series that I have fallen in love with over the past few months. Check out all the other stuff that's going on post-show recaps. We've got our Marvel rewatch series, Everything is Super, some occasional Final Fantasy VII coverage. Better Call Saul coverage is wrapping up as well. There's so much going on, as well as the occasional scripted coverage that Rob will do with Akiva on Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast. It's a time rife with television podcasts, including the one that you just checked out right now. So that's going to do it for this. Thank you all so much for listening. Let us know your thoughts for any possible future Star Trek seasons. If you want to make Winners at Wharf actually happen, I am all ears, much like Quark. Thank you all so much for listening. Live long and prosper.